And on the run, the D-backs have moved from Milwaukee to Pittsburgh. And on this Memorial Day, Sanderson Ford salutes the troops, those serving, those who've served, and all of those who've helped preserve our freedom. Today, the first of three, it's the D-backs and the Pirates on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from PNC Park and welcome to the broadcast. Bob Brentley is off this week, Steve Berthiaume and Tom Candiotti along the way, and our very best to you and yours on this Memorial Day. It's the Diamondbacks in Pittsburgh, the first of a three-game set. Randall Delgado makes his second start of the year, filling in for the injured Taijuan Walker. And Candy, what can we expect from Randall today?
Well, I think one of the big things for Randall is when you convert from a reliever to a starter, you really start needing to go through the lineup for the to more than one time. So in order for that to happen, you're going to have to really introduce your third pitch. More sliders I think you're going to see today from Randall if he's going to get a little deeper into the lineup.
Offensively for the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen has struggled all year long. They recently dropped him to 6th in the batting order. Pretty low for him, but it seems to have worked.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of pressure off him when that does happen. So instead of trying to drive in the 1 and 2 hitters, you're trying to drive in the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And, he's responded there. He's got a home run. He's got 3 RBIs. He's hit 4 for 11. So right now it's responding for Andrew right now.
Well, after a 4-game split in Milwaukee, the road trip continues. It's the first of 3 from here in Pittsburgh. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, the home run for your mouth. By Sanderson Ford, the best play is at Sanderson Ford. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Welcome to the gig life. And by State Farm. State Farm is here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by USAA. Join USAA in honoring our fallen heroes. Pittsburgh, PA, for the second time this season, it's the D-backs and the Pirates. A 3-game series here at PNC Park after these two teams split 4 games at Chase Field earlier this month. A lovely sunny day here. 77 degrees. First of a 3-game series. And let's take a look, Candy, at the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks today. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, we have Chris Owings leading off in this game, followed by Peralta, Paul Goldschmidt hitting 3rd, Jake Lamb 4th, Yasmani Tomas in the number 5 hole, Brandon Drury, Gregor Blanco, Jeff Mathis, and pitching today, Randall Delgado.
Diamondbacks trying to change their luck at this ballpark. They've lost 5 straight games and 7 of their last 9 at PNC Park. So, Candy, that leads nicely into your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, the key to the game right now is when you're talking about first dibs, the Diamondbacks have done really well first game of the series. In fact, they've won the last 5 series openers, 7 of the last 8, and 12-4 on the season. So that winning that first game of the series seems to have set it up for the Diamondbacks, and they'll be going after this game today.
It sounds like that should be great credit to the preparation of the coaching staff here.
I think it is. And I think the players all get wound up and riled up to win that first game. You want to, it's so easy to win a series, much easier, I should say, to win a series when you get off to a good start. And a lot of that really falls on the starting pitcher and, having that early inning effectiveness, and then kind of sets things up for you.
Yeah, wins in 5 straight series openers, 12-4 this year. Certainly pretty impressive. The Diamondbacks coming into today have won 10 of their last 13 games. They're only 2 games off the lead in the very competitive National League West. It's the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks, all with at least 31 wins this season. Candy, that's more than any other team in the National League.
Yeah, it's really crazy when you sit there and analyze the standings. You're 31-21. You're 10 games over 500, and you're 3rd in your division. This team is really playing magnificent baseball right now, and to being able to be a +10 already at this time of the season is really excellent. So they just need to keep doing what they're doing, go about it, trying to win series, and those little things keep building momentum.
Well, today they're up against right-hander Trevor Williams, your Ram truck starter for the Pirates. 2nd-round pick out of ASU. He's a Sun Devil. This is Williams' 11th appearance this year, but only his 5th start. And he got a win at Chase Field, beating the Diamondbacks earlier this month.
Yeah, really threw well against the Diamondbacks in that game. Went 5 innings, but really retired. He finished really strong. I think he retired the last 12 guys that he faced. Basically, fastball, curveball, once in a while the curveball, slider, and a changeup. He's a strike thrower, comes right after guys, and like you said, he had a lot of momentum as he finished that game against the D-backs last time.
Let's take a look at the Pirates defensively. Our eye on defense for Pittsburgh is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Well, defensively for the Pirates, you got out in left field, you got Jaso, McCutcheon out in center field, Polanco out in right field, Josh Harrison over at 3rd base, Mercer at short, Hanson at 2nd base, rookie Bell at first. He's had him very off to a great start. Stewart behind the plate, and on the mound, Trevor Williams.
Behind the plate today, calling the balls and strikes, it's Adrian Johnson. Eric Cooper, our first base umpire. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, is at 2nd. And Gabe Morales will be our 3rd base umpire today. The Pirates are 5 games under 500 this year, last place in the National League Central, but how different is this from the NL West? They're only 4.5 games behind Milwaukee for the division lead.
Yeah, and that's a testament really of how well the Diamondbacks are playing this year. You look at the Pirates team, and when you match up player to player, it certainly looks like the Diamondbacks, you can almost go position by position, and they match up really well. Plus their speed that they have, the team speed, but it all comes down to that guy in the mound being effective out there.
So here we go, the first of 3 at PNC Park on a sunny Memorial Day in Pittsburgh. The Diamondbacks and the Pirates. Chris Owings will lead it off. CO lines it off. Williams right back to the mound. He regroups and throws him out. 1 pitch, 1 down.
Boy, that first pitch fastball, and CO hit it right back where it came from. I mean, that ball was pelted there. Williams knocks it down, or I should say his body got in front of it, knocked it down, and they end up getting CO at first base. Really robbed Chris of a base hit.
Yeah, hit it pretty hard right back up the box, and he'll get a moment to collect himself here.
That's never a good feeling for a starting pitcher. Your first pitch of the game, you want to throw that first pitch strike, and it gets turned around. It's coming back at you harder than you threw it. That's never a good feeling.
Well, that's the way CO's been hitting just about everything these days, batting .324 on the year. But 1 down now for David Peralta, back in there in right field today. 2 hits in Milwaukee for David yesterday. Batting .308 with 4 home runs.
Really love the stroke that David's really developed into this year. Really likes going the other way, stays inside the ball very, very well, getting a lot of base hits. You don't see the Pirates shifting on him now. Last time at Chase Field, they were shifting on David, but not this time.
Down 0-2.
Williams isn't going to blow you away with his stuff out there. He's got the fastball, basically a slider and a changeup. He's going to move it around. He's going to throw strikes.
Well, this ballpark should benefit David Peralta's opposite field approach. That's the deepest part of the park right here. They call it the notch. 410, that little corner in there in left center field.
Yeah, there's a lot of room out there. You know, it's almost the opposite of AT&T Park in San Francisco, where you got the big left center field out here compared to the right center field out in San Francisco.
1-2 now, and David Peralta excels at hitting the ball the other way. We saw him shoot one down the third base line yesterday for a base hit at Miller Park, and as you can see, he goes to left field more often than any other part of the outfield.
A lot of base hits that way, 20 hits to left field. Well, just even looking at the infield now, Josh Harrison, the third baseman, well off the bag, almost playing a shifting shortstop position. So there is a lot of room down the line, and if he gets it down there, that's going to be a double for him.
They're going to challenge here to see maybe that pitch hit David Peralta. Torey Lovullo is requested to Adrian Johnson and the crew chief Gary Cederstrom coming in from second that they take a look.
Such a big part of baseball now is your video guys being very quick on the call.
It's an early challenge here from the Diamondbacks. Let's see, did this hit David Peralta?
It's a slider he tugs on, comes down, and hard to tell on there if it got part of his right foot or not.
With that dirt kicking up, it makes it hard to have a definitive look.
It really does, but the way the ball really took off afterwards, it didn't really kind of bounce straight ahead. You know, it's going to bounce a little bit sideways, but that one really took a drastic hop, which leads me to believe that it probably got a little bit of his foot.
Adrian Johnson, the plate umpires on the right there. And Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, with his back to you as they talk to New York.
It's awful hard to really see if it hit him, but just watching the carom of it, that was really took a right turn there. So I'm guessing that ball did hit him.
Of course, the Diamondbacks in the game against the Brewers yesterday were down 2-0 after the first inning, as Milwaukee scored 2 runs early against Patrick Corbin. So maybe trying to establish a tone here and take the early lead, switch things up a bit.
Well, it's always good to get off to a good start, get some guys on base, you know, really press and the opposing starting pitcher, make him work out there in that first inning.
And with Randall Delgado making only his second start of the year, try and maybe give him a cushion early, help him settle in.
Yeah, so nice as a starting pitcher when you can get a run or two to work with early on. He doesn't feel like every pitch has to be so critical.
Well, you've got Goldie on deck coming up, and last time he had a day off, he went on a tear. So maybe they're thinking that'll happen again here. Yeah, they'll give him first base. David Peralta hit by a pitch. A very good challenge there by the Diamondbacks.
Boy, clutch right there. Very nicely done. Like I said, you know, when you saw the carom of the ball, that really ricocheted. And great job. You got a guy on base right now. And now you got the meat of your order coming up.
Goldie, Lamb, Tomas all due up next. So it's Peralta at first, 1 out. And here's Paul Goldschmidt, 315 and 11 home runs.
Goldie's another guy you really can't shift too much on because he'll spray the ball every which way.
Jumps on the first pitch, as he's done a whole lot lately, pops it up first base side. Josh Bell will give way to Hansen, the second baseman. And that's the second out. Boy, Goldie's really been aggressive very early in counts lately.
Yeah, he really has. Really this whole year, such a different type of hitter, but he's trying to do a lot more damage. Has been very successful for him. Used to take a lot of pitches. How many times we used to say Goldie, 3-2 Goldie again?
Oh, yeah.
And not so much anymore.
But still leading the league in walks despite being aggressive early in counts. 2 down now for Jake Lamb. 279, 14 home runs. He's knocked in 43. Tied for second place in the National League in both home runs and runs batted in. Looks at strike one. 95 coming there from Trevor Williams.
You got to believe Jake Lamb, with the power that he has. And you look at this right field wall here in Pittsburgh. That's like got to be very appetizing for him.
It's like a reverse Fenway Park in one sense, with that short right field porch and that tall 21-foot high wall out there. Right field in this ballpark is considered the easiest outfield to play. Left field is the much more difficult with that notch we showed you earlier. But that wall 21 feet high in honor of the great one, Roberto Clemente. Kind of a nice touch when they designed this ballpark. Here's the 1-1 to Lamb.
Got to honor Roberto.
Well, they have that enormous statue of him right at the base of the bridge behind left center field, which is just beautiful. So you walk over the bridge from downtown Pittsburgh over the river, and there it is.
Maybe we got to take a picture out there, I think.
I've taken a bunch. It's great. They got a great Willie Stargell statue on the other side. There's a very nice one of Bill Mazeroski behind the right field corner. And one of the most scenic ballparks, certainly, in the major leagues. There it is, PNC Park. That is our view. We're up this high.
We are.
And you can see it's a tremendous view from up here of all the downtown skyline.
Come off the elevator and they give you binoculars.
It's not easy. Long set by Williams, and Lamb hammers it right through that shift. Peralta takes the turn. He's digging for third. Tony Perez-Chica will stop him there. Base hit for Lamb. First and third with 2 outs now for Yasmani Tomas.
Boy, Jake just drilled this. Slider coming inside to him. Didn't get it all the way in where he wanted to.
Just set by Williams, and
hammered this ball
hammers it
right through the right side.
We'll see if Yasmani can put up an early run for the Diamondbacks.
Well, already you've made this a high stress inning for Williams out on the mound right now. He's going to have to buckle down and make some good pitches right now to Yasmani, who I'm sure he's up there right now ready to do some damage.
247, 8 home runs. He played only twice in Milwaukee. 0 for 8 in the Brewers series with 3 strikeouts. Peralta's at third, Lamb at first.
Stewart, the catcher, trying to set up inside for a fastball, but Williams tugged on that ball and really threw it away. Had to reach across the plate to catch that ball. A lot of pitchers sometimes, when you see that, they don't like to pitch inside. They're more conditioned to being able to kind of dot the outside part of the plate.
Tomas on the ground and throw into left field. Peralta scores the RBI single for El Tanque, Yasmani Tomas, and there's the early run.
Slider that was trying to be on the outside part of the plate to Yasmani this time, and he going out there, got that ball and hit it well right through the left side of the infield. That's a big 2-out knock RBI.
And looking back now, how big was that challenge by Torey Lovullo, the second batter of the ball game?
Boy, no kidding, right there.
That run just scored, yeah.
Gives the Diamondbacks the lead. Gives Delgado a run to work with at least.
Extends that first inning for Trevor Williams. Here's the second baseman today, Brandon Drury.
Boy, this is the guy the D-backs really want to get going. Consistent at bats.
Just extends and lengthens that lineup, doesn't it? When Drury's hitting 6th or 7th.
Boy, you know, you got a guy right here, and we've talked about him many times before the game, and a guy that can been a doubles machine really throughout his career. Done a really good job nailing the ball, but I think once he gets comfortable here, and I think he's getting to that point, it's just a matter of him making those adjustments to pitches and hit them hard.
Well, he's down 0-2 here. Brandon had 3 hits in Milwaukee yesterday. He's hit in 4 of his last 5 games. He's got Lamb at second, Tomas at first, and 2 outs. A run is in.
299 on the year.
You were right. This is a guy that has had a 50 double season in the minor leagues. He's always been a line drive type hitter.
Base hit here gives you another run. Great to jump on the pitchers early on.
Lays off a high fastball, and it's 1-2. Trevor Williams, a winner over the Diamondbacks May 13th at Chase Field. Just his second start after transitioning in from the bullpen. 77 pitches in 5 innings, held the D-backs to 1 run, a Nick Ahmed homer. Williams wound up with a victory in that ball game. Pirates won at 4-3 back in Phoenix. And he's had a few starts since, so he's starting to stretch out a bit, get a little deeper into games.
Hasn't had a real successful month overall in May, where he's 1-2. He's got a 6.10 ERA, but that last game against the Diamondbacks, he threw really well, ended up really well in that game. I think retiring the last 12 guys that he faced.
Second round pick out of ASU back in the 2013 draft. Drury can't check his swing. Williams strands 2, but the Diamondbacks get the early lead. Yasmani Tomas has made it 1-0. Randall Delgado coming up.
Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio Rivers. 3 rivers in Pittsburgh. 1-0 Diamondbacks. And your Ram truck starter is Randall Delgado, his second spot start, filling in for Taijuan Walker, who's out with that blister. Randall, after pitching in the bullpen all season, gave the D-backs 4 innings and 61 pitches last Wednesday at Chase Field against the White Sox. Candy, what do we expect today?
Well, I think you're going to see him try to extend a little farther out. I think Torrey's going to give him a little bit more leadway as far as pitch count goes. You look maybe 75, maybe even up a little higher than that. Try to get through 5 innings. Randall, again, though, still going from the stretch, just as he was coming out of the bullpen.
Just more comfortable?
And I think he's more comfortable doing that also. But I think, you know, once you start doing that, you kind of get yourself into a comfort zone. If you start going from the windup and then back to the stretch, maybe he's not quite comfortable yet doing that.
Well, it's working so far against Josh Harrison. 0 for 2. 0-2. Harrison having a very good season at the plate. 310, 6 home runs. He's red hot these days. He begins this series with a 10-game hitting streak, the longest by a Pirates hitter this year.
Or Randall just on the attack mode. Another fastball in, a little bit up in the zone that time, but Harrison fouls it off.
It's funny, we talked to Torrey before the game today. He said that Randall really, in that start against the White Sox, pitched as if he was coming in out of the bullpen, which is very aggressive and trying to get quick outs. I guess it's really kind of a mindset thing.
I think it is, and I think you see this with relievers a lot that have those spot starts. They're so used to coming out, throwing, you know, just really 2 pitches, going right after guys early on. And I think you're going to see a trend develop, I think, throughout baseball of guys really being aggressive like that early in the games.
So when he comes in here, say, he might feel like it's 7th inning and he's out there with 2 guys on, just trying to get an out. That's a foul ball.
That was a changeup that he threw that time, but most of the time he's coming in pretty hard out of the bullpen, and he's pretty much been a fastball changeup guy. I think they've tried to limit his slider usage quite a bit. I think that's really his 3rd best pitch. But as a starter, when you have to go through the lineup 2 times or more, you're going to need that 3rd pitch. So he's going to throw a lot more of those.
Is that where the difference comes in the comfort factor, knowing that you need to mix in a little more sliders than he might normally do?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point that you make there, because he's going to have to use all 3 pitches there. If you go back a few years when he was starting for the Diamondbacks, he even had a curveball at that time, but still not his best pitch. And when you go to the bullpen, you don't need all those pitches anymore.
Here's the pitching coach, Mike Butcher. 2-2 now on Josh Harrison.
You don't want to throw a lot of pitches either. Randall's going to try to get as many ground balls early on.
Elevates the fastball and strikes him out, 1 down. Let's take a look at the lineup, Candy, for the Pirates. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Well, right now we got Josh Harrison, who just struck out the leadoff. Jordy Mercer hitting 2nd. Josh Bell in the number 3 hole. Polanco, number 4. Jaso, and then Andrew McCutchen all the way down to the number 6 hole, followed by Hanson, Stewart, and the pitcher Williams.
The shortstop Mercer has been hot lately. He's up to 242 and 4 homers. That's a big upgrade from where he was not too long ago. And again, Randall at 96. Throw strike 1.
Yeah, he started like this last game also, pumping the fastball in there. And then as he starts to extend, his pitch count gets up a little bit. That's going to drop off a little bit just because that's the way he's been pitching. But as the more that he's going to start, you know, he's going to be able to maintain that a little bit more. And also, you know, start using a little bit more of a combination of a slider and also with the changeup to go with it. You know, Torrey told us also how he loves Randall, the versatility that he brings to the team. You could put this guy anywhere.
Yeah, they feel very comfortable, Torrey said, with Delgado in there. He's had, I think he had 4 relief appearances of 3 innings each before that start last week against the White Sox. So they have a lot of trust in him when he's out there. Well, that's why you turn to him instead of bringing somebody up for the minor leagues.
Yeah, he's been such a good teammate. He's willing to do anything that they want him to do. Good slider that time, just right on the outside part of the plate. The longer you stay out there as a pitcher also, the more pitches you get to throw, the better feel that you will get.
Here's the Delgado slider.
Right on the outside corner. Mercer just got that with the very end of his bat.
And that's the pitch that he's really worked on the last several years, right?
Yes.
Just missed with a fastball. Adrian Johnson wouldn't bite it. It's 1-2.
That's a great pitch right there. 96 just off the plate. Oh boy, just an excellent looking fastball.
It's a big league fastball. He's got that consistent 95, 96. Mercer hits it into right center, a 1-out single. Our eye on defense for the D-backs is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
So defensively for the Diamondbacks, David Peralta out in right field. Out in center field, you got Gregor Blanco, Yasmani Tomas in left. Third base, Lamb, Owings at short, Drury at second, Goldie over at first base. Behind the plate in this game, Jeff Mathis and Delgado on the mound.
Well, here is the increasingly dangerous Josh Bell, switch hitting first baseman. He leads the Pirates with 9 homers, batting .235 on the year. Fastball missed. It's 1-0.
Randall loved the double up or get that ground ball double play. He's gotten 2 of them this year. Doesn't get a whole lot of those.
See that OPS for Bell, that leads all National League rookies.
Bell really swung the bat well at Chase Field in that last series they had against the Pirates. Really our first chance really to see him in person, and tell you what, he was impressive.
He's been getting some run from Clint Hurdle in the cleanup spot lately, batting third here today. They had a bit of a home run streak earlier this month, 4 homers in 6 games, including 2 against the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. 3 straight fastballs from Delgado. He's down 2-1. Bell has had something of a slow month at the plate. He's hitting under .220 in May, but he has homered 5 times this month. That's a great shot of downtown Pittsburgh here. Randall being careful. Change up there, 3-1.
Change up there. It's the right pitch to throw. Of course, Jeff Mathis behind the plate.
Now, why
is outstanding at calling pitches.
Why is that the right pitch to throw?
Well, he thrown 3 straight fastballs, 2-1 count right there. So as a hitter, you're getting ready to go. You're trying to turn the dial up right there. If you execute a good changeup, you probably get him a little pop up there.
Goes back to the fastball, and Bell was a little late that time. 3-2.
Yeah, a lot of times the hitters are going to tell you what to throw. Just you have to really watch their swings. Catchers are really going to help you out with that. But sometimes as a pitcher, you get feedback from the hitter. If you're late on a fastball, on an outside fastball, nothing wrong with coming with an inside fastball.
That's where Mathis sets up. He'll keep an eye on Mercer over there.
Pretty much everything just on the outside part of the plate that he has thrown to Bell in this at bat.
Mercer takes off for second. Swing and a miss. Bell strikes out, and Mathis throws him out. There it is. The strike him out, throw him out, executed by Delgado, Mathis, and the Diamondbacks. We're through 1 in Pittsburgh. It's 1-0 D-backs.
And by the way, D-backs home run this afternoon means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
D-backs a 1-0 lead. A Yasmani Tomas RBI single. And Gregor Blanco in center field, batting 7th today, leads off the second against Pirates right-hander ASU Sun Devil Trevor Williams. Blanco 255 and a homer. Harrison creeping in a step or two from third, and there's strike one.
You know what I really loved about Gregor Blanco are the types of at-bats that he takes. Normally he's not putting the ball in play. He's usually seeing the pitch, seeing some pitches. He really works the pitcher. That goes a long ways, especially when he's hitting top of the order. It really lets everybody else take a look and see what this guy's got.
Well, he's reached base safely in 10 of his 12 starts this year with the D-backs, but down 0-2.
Nice take on the slider. Wouldn't bite on it. Blanco's another guy that will spray the ball around. You can't shift on guys like this.
Well, Trevor Williams has had an occasionally erratic slider lately. He'll go fastball, change up, work the sinker if he feels like that slider isn't there for him. Here's a tapper that rolls foul for Blanco. Williams, as we said, much like Delgado, he's a little deeper into the process, but transitioning from the bullpen to the rotation. And he hasn't yet completed 6 innings as part of that transition. He's getting there. He's gone at least 5 innings in each of his 3 previous starts, but he's been over 90 pitches only once all year.
Yeah, 93. They're trying to build his volume up again, and a lot of times it's going to be getting early quick outs, getting some ground ball outs early in the game, kind of gets you in a good flow of the game, but also keeps your pitch count down, enables you to get deeper in the games.
1-2 to Gregor Blanco. Just kind of a piece of that fastball.
You know, these are the kind of swings that I love from Blanco, just watching him. And we've seen him over the years with the Giants. He has done the same thing. He just really works it. They're usually 5-pitch, 6-pitch at bats all the time before, you know, he puts the ball in play.
He's added in. This is really the approach of a leadoff guy, right?
Yeah, leadoff guy, but really more than that, just a veteran hitter, a guy that's going to see pitches. You know, he's going to spoil pitches until he maybe either the pitcher makes a mistake or he gets the pitch that he's looking for.
Lays off a fastball away, and he's back even 2 balls and 2 strikes. The catcher Mathis on deck. It's like having a leadoff guy in the 7th spot in the lineup. Chris Stewart hangs on to the foul tip, and Williams gets his 2nd strikeout.
Just ticked that ball. It was a changeup right on the outside part of the play. Had some late movement to it as it kind of moved away from him, fooled him. And Stewart ends up coming up with a foul tip.
And that changeup breaking down and away from the left-hand hitter. Here's the catcher Jeff Mathis, 174 and 2 home runs.
The last time they played, Jeff got a big double against him.
He's been a hitter lately. Mathis has hit safely in 8 of his last 12 starts, including a couple of home runs. That's been coming around a bit. Singled in Thursday's series opener at Miller Park.
That looked like a changeup to me that came in and got him. Well, really had a lot of tailing action. Looked like it got that front elbow area. Man, so you want to be a hitter, huh? No, thank you.
Well, we don't want to get into the whole history again and start going down on that road. But remember, these are the Pirates, and they pitch up and in. But as you said, a changeup. You're not trying to send a message to an 8th-place hitter with a changeup.
No.
Second hit batter of the ball game.
I think that was 89 miles an hour. It wasn't his fastball. It just got away from him.
Now see if Delgado can get a bunt down. Here comes Harrison from third. Randall chops it foul.
Randall's a guy that can handle the bat fairly well. He'll get his bunts down. He can swing the bat also. He's not a bad hitter.
Could you hit it all?
I think I got about 35 hits, but I think the average might have been a hair over 100.
All right, you got a 1 instead of a 0. That
I do have
number.
I'm on the interstate.
That's good. It's on the back of the bubblegum card. Here comes Harrison from third again. Bell holding Mathis on the bag at first. Delgado gets it down nicely. Only one play for Williams, and they move Mathis along.
Very nicely done that time, and a little bit of a collision there. Maybe miscommunication between Williams and Bell. But Hansen was over to cover the base, and they executed it.
Well, Bell is a converted outfielder, and he is still learning how to play first base. Oftentimes, Clint Hurdle will put John Jaso or someone in there as a late inning substitution defensively for Bell. It's still a learning process for him down there. A chance now for Chris Owings. Mathis at second and 2 outs.
Boy, Chris saw one pitch his first at bat and just hit a seed right off the somewhere on Williams.
He was able to collect it and throw him out to lead off the ball game. Chris coming off a day off in Milwaukee yesterday. He had 4 hits in that Brewers series, doubled and homered.
He has been hitting outstanding all season long. 322 average. How about that? An 851 OPS.
For me, he's been the most consistent hitter since day one.
He really has.
And of course, day one had the walk-off single that beat the Giants on opening day.
Well, not only that, but he's hit all over the lineup. He's hitting, of course, leadoff in this game. We've seen him hit third this year. We've seen him all over the place.
Yeah, I think he went clean up leadoff back-to-back games one time not too long ago.
There's not too many hitters that can do that
and be effective in each spot. That's the thing. Squirts it the other way for Bell. He's going to have to hustle to get to the bag, and Owings just is out at first. Torey Lovullo with his hand up. Hold on, we want to take a look. CO for a moment there had a clear path to first. He runs very well. And the Pirates a little slow to cover. Let's see.
It's like almost the Pirates know that he was safe, the way they were reacting.
Yeah.
Hard to tell on that angle. It looked very close.
They won't challenge, though. I guess they don't feel good enough about any angle that Alan Campbell has in the video room. So that's the end of the inning. Bottom 2 coming up from Pittsburgh. D-backs lead it 1-0.
First inning. I was talking to Jeff Mathis before today's game. He said, look, Randy stepped up big for us, leading that bullpen game against the White Sox. He said, I expect him to do the same. The key, especially with the mix of pitches that Randall's throwing out there, fastball, changeup, slider, just keep the ball down and, of course, work ahead in the count. So things that any pitcher talks about, but things that Torey Lovullo also echoed Mathis' comment, especially with those pitches Randall throws, those are the keys today, guys.
Well, Jody, you have to be very careful with this guy, the cleanup man, Gregory Polanco, who has just tortured the Diamondbacks over the years. This season, .265. He's homered 3 times in his last 7 games.
Only 3 home runs on the season.
But quickly Delgado ahead 0-2.
Good fastball up in the zone. You know, I was watching that WBC this year. Polanco was playing on that. He looked like he was just going to have a monster season this year. Really swinging the bat well.
He is an enormously talented player.
Big guy, too.
Yeah, he's very lanky, 6'5", 235, 25 years old.
I took a picture last night with his parents at the hotel.
You did?
Yeah, I got out of my taxi, I got here, and taxi was want to take a picture, and some guy introduced them, and they don't talk English. And but I ended up taking a picture with them. I thought that was so cool.
Very nice.
I wanted their autograph.
Well, this is the issue with Polanco. 23 games against the Diamondbacks in his career. He's hit over 350, 14 extra base hits, 17 runs batted in. He's got a 12-game hitting streak just against the Diamondbacks.
It just seems like he stings the ball every time that we see him.
Well, remember, it was Gregory Polanco who broke up Zach Greinke's no-hitter earlier this month at Chase Field. Zach took that no-hitter into the 8th inning, and Polanco led off that inning with a home run down the right field line. That was his first home run all year.
Trying to be a little too careful with him there. That fastball just off the plate away, or that was a changeup. Polanco's become a lot more disciplined hitter than when we first saw him come up.
He begins this series with a 7-game hitting streak, Gregory Polanco. Here's the 3-2 from Delgado. Lifts it up in the air, headed behind the Pirate dugout and out of play.
I don't think we have to worry about any foul balls coming up here.
I'm worried more about aircraft where we are, blimps and stuff. It is way up high. Not near. This is literally our view. This is what we're looking down on right now, and you can see how small the players look. Where are we? Here we are.
Here we are.
Wave, Candy. Say hi.
We are here. Hey.
Right above the 1979 We Are Family pennant. And Delgado gets his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. It's a big one. He retires Polanco to open up the 2nd.
Great slider that time. Ball's out of the zone. Would have been a ball. Polanco a little bit anxious on this pitch. Watch the break of this pitch down and in, but it starts, the key to that, it starts in the strike zone. And once you get a ball to start in the strike zone, even if it breaks out of it, the hitter's got to make a decision. And that time he got Polanco to bite on it.
D-backs put the shift on for John Jaso. Left-hand batter playing left field today. There's strike one. 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Delgado. There's a look at the defense.
Nice big shift that time.
Chris Owings, the shortstop, moves into short right field.
Well, what a great combination of pitches, though. When he's got his fastball, when you're hitting 96, 97 miles an hour, and you have the changeup that Delgado has, and he's got the confidence that he'll throw that any count there is. You never know when it's coming. Just makes everything effective.
And then humps it up to 95 and blows Jaso away. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Randall Delgado. He's punched out 4 of the first 5 he's faced.
And again, it's the combination of pitches that we talk about. It's great having the fastball. It's great having the changeup, the slide, whatever. But the combination of the fastball, changeup, for a hitter, you don't know if you should sit back on the ball or if you got to dial it up to hit 96, 97 miles an hour.
Andrew McCutchen, the franchise here, 213, 7 home runs. Leads the Pirates in RBIs, but you saw the OPS down 100 points from last season. And more than 220 points from 2 years ago. He has been in steady decline. And so, as we mentioned in the open, starting with their Friday game here against the Mets, Clint Hurdle dropped McCutchen down to 6th in the batting order. And it seems to have worked. He's hit safely in 4 games in a row. Had a big home run here Saturday. Pops it up, second base for Drury. Randall Delgado mowing him down through 2. He leads it 1-0.
1-0. The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
We look for the.
I'll spit that out.
Yeah, you'll get it. We look for the fast food trifecta here because you get the Jumbo Jack with the home run, and you get the pizza for the win.
What do we got next?
And 5 runs for tacos.
Oh, we got tacos. All right, that's good.
David Peralta. Peralta, in his first at bat today, took a pitch for a ball. It was called a ball by Adrian Johnson. Diamondbacks challenged, saying it hit Peralta in the foot. They won the challenge, and Peralta wound up scoring a run, came home on a Yasmani Tomas RBI single. So a very good challenge by Torey Lovullo and company. Helped create a run.
Yeah, got him a run on the board.
Up there against right-hander Trevor Williams to start the third. There's a tapper to shortstop. Jordy Mercer's there.
Quick play by Mercer. Charged that ball well. Just a quick snap throw. So he's one of those guys that goes under the radar also. Defensively, he's a very solid shortstop.
Paul Goldschmidt, our State Farm winning combo. Goldie after off days since 2015. Well, he does not like sitting out, and he comes back with a vengeance. A 400 hitter in 9 games after not starting the previous game. He did get an at bat yesterday in Milwaukee. Came up in the 8th inning after that highly anticipated Goldie off day. So we'll see how he does here. He popped up on the first pitch in his first at bat earlier today.
And it's a guy also that never really wants to come out of the lineup ever. He always wants to stand, but that day off certainly does him a lot of good.
Well, he didn't get the whole day off, as we mentioned. Came up to pinch hit in the 8th inning as the tying run at the plate during that big Diamondback comeback. They had scored 4 runs in that inning, but lined out to center field. And Goldie's other off day this year was April 24th against San Diego. Came in and played half an inning defensively at first base. But after that, he went on a tear. He hit .472 over his next 10 games, including 4 home runs. So hopefully history here repeats itself.
Goldie's like we were talking about. There's so many shifts in this game, and this is a team that really enjoys shifting. But you can't shift on Goldie. I mean, he'll beat you. He not just a gap-to-gap hitter, but he goes foul line to foul line.
Oh yeah, there's almost nothing out there for the Pirates that's unusual defensively. And as you mentioned, they have been among the forerunners here with all the shifting and overshifting. The analytics. Diamondbacks hired Mike Fitzgerald from the Pirates in the offseason. And Mike now runs the D-backs analytics department. Goldie belts one deep center field. McCutchen is out there. 2 outs.
Hit it well. It's a line shot, but unfortunately right to McCutchen.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent wind coming in off the river, which is blowing from center field toward the left field foul pole. And that may have knocked that down a bit. You can see those flags are pretty busy out there. Pirates will put on the shift now for Jake Lamb, who singled his first time up. Here you can see 3 infielders on the right hand side.
Nice view, just a picturesque ballpark.
It is beautiful, and there's almost, well, I shouldn't say almost, but very little crowd here today. You're wondering how come no one's going to the Pirate game. Well, later tonight, just across the river, the Penguins host Nashville in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and this is an enormous hockey town. Under the legs of Bell, Hansen's there. Williams covers, and he works a 1-2-3 third. Diamondbacks in Pittsburgh. They lead the Pirates 1-0. They lead the Pirates 1-0. And on this Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Homes for Our Troops, building mortgage-free, specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 vets. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is enabling our veterans to rebuild their lives by visiting foxsportsupports.com. Randall Delgado has struck out 4 of the first 6 batters in the ball game he's faced. He'll work to the lower third of the Pirate order now. The second baseman, Alan Hansen, leads it off.
You really like the rhythm that Randall's getting himself into right now.
Ground ball rolls into right field. Leadoff single for Hansen. You mentioned he was the first Diamondback out there back on the field ready to go and start those warm-up pitches.
He had gotten back out there already before anybody besides his catchers got out on the field. He's ready to go. He's pumped up. Looking forward to every start. No doubt about that.
Well, we'll see how Clint Hurdle, how creative he wants to get. Hansen runs pretty well over there. And you've got the 8, 9 spots in the order coming up. Chris Stewart, the catcher.
A lot of times the whole goal for the manager when you start dealing with the bottom of the order is to get something going to flip it over. They want to get something. They want to get him to second base. Something.
Well, they've got their 2 hottest hitters batting 1 and 2 in Harrison and Mercer. So we'll see if you want to start some runners, bunt some guys, how Hurdle will play it here with Hansen a single to lead off the third.
Randall, quick feet. Very good at keeping runners close. He's got a good pickoff move.
And Randall's a big dude out there. He's 6'4", 220 with those quick feet.
Yeah. He's agile.
Yeah.
Very good fielder.
Sure enough, Hansen takes off. The throw from Mathis is in time. They got him. Hansen signaling to the Pirate dugout that he was able to avoid that tag. And Mathis has already thrown out 1 guy today. Let's see if the Pirates challenge.
Nice job by Drury, who was on the coverage this time. Short hopped that ball, had the tag right down there. And I think what Hansen is saying, he's going in, head first. So a lot of times the hands can get in there before the tag is applied. But a nice play, and have to slow that one down, take a better look at it.
Gary Cederstrom is our second base umpire. Adrian Johnson says to Clint Hurdle, the home plate umpire, okay, you're out of time. What do you want to do? You only get 30 seconds. And Hurdle says play on. So Hansen is erased. Second time that Mathis has thrown out a Pirate base runner today.
And again, a lot of that has to do with your pitcher, giving the catcher a chance to throw him out. That's all you have to do for these guys. Iannetta, Mathis, Herman, just give them a chance. And certainly that's 2 of them that Mathis gunned out today.
Hard to third, but right to Jake Lamb. Sets himself and throws. Quickly 2 outs.
These are the innings that you like to have. Ground ball like that, get an out. Some innings you like to cruise on. It's great when you get all the strikeouts. They're sexy, they're fun, all that stuff. But boy, you could get some ground ball outs and have a quick inning, especially at the bottom of the order. Keep yourself in the game a little longer.
And as you mentioned, last time out, Randall threw 61 pitches in his start against the White Sox. They think, due just to natural progression, that they can extend that a bit, say 5 innings, 70, 75 pitches. You can add 10 or 15 pitches to whatever he threw last time out. So Randall can get a little deeper into the game today.
And I think that would be the goal right now, I think, for Torrey. Get him through 5 solid innings, let the bullpen take over after that.
Well, they feel that, he's got that solid mid to upper 90s fastball, a good changeup. They're not going to clip him if he's rolling along, Torrey told us today. So if you're thinking 5 and 75, that's the target. It's not necessarily the ceiling.
Right, exactly.
39
pitches right now is all.
You're not going to let him go to 100, but just because he throws pitch number 75, that doesn't mean automatically, okay, that's it. Last Wednesday in that win over the White Sox, 4 innings for Randall Delgado. 1 earned run, 3 hits. He struck out 3. So there is something of a foundation there. He's pitched in long relief all year. Williams won't go down quietly. 1 and 2 still.
Pitchers like to swing at fastballs. You throw him a good slider right here and put him away.
You see Mathis wants it down and away right here. Went to the fastball and dotted it. Randall Delgado. 5 strikeouts through 3 innings and a 1-0 lead. Angels 9-2 losers in Miami yesterday, but look at Mike Trout slide head first. That's why Torey Lovullo has banned his Diamondbacks from doing this. It's a sprained left thumb for Trout. X-rays were negative, no fractures, but he is going to need an MRI. And so they're a little worried about this.
Well, you lose a guy like that.
Just jammed his thumb on the bag there. Angels lost 9-2 at Marlins Park, but you know, Torey immediately, very early in the season, just flat out banned it, and that's why.
You even saw the way he just grimaced his face that Trout did that time. You knew that just wasn't good.
It seems like if you do that consistently, and Trout is on base literally in almost every game, it's just a matter of time before you injure a hand or a thumb or wrist, something.
You know, you really go back even a generation ago. You know, guys used to slap tags on really hard. They used to drop knees on you really hard. And when you're not sliding in, when you're going in with your hands, you could do that so easily, and you could really hurt a guy.
The Pirate Parrot here in PNC Park, set for the 4th inning. And Trevor Williams, the Pittsburgh starter, has set down the last 5 Diamondbacks he's faced. D-backs last hit was Yasmani Tomas's RBI single in the 1st, and Tomas leads off the 4th. BB talks about this all the time. The best slider that we see on a consistent basis is Goldie. Always right on the bag, always pops right up, always feet first. Tomas drives one left center. McCutchen trying to get over there, and he runs it down. Well, a lot of discussion about can Andrew McCutchen still cover all the ground in center field. They tried to move him over to a corner spot starting this year. And once Starling Marte got a PED suspension, they had to scrap that plan. But his defensive metrics in center field are not good.
Not good. When you watch him play, he doesn't have the same kind of speed that he once had. When he first came up, he was a rabbit out there. He was all over the place. You don't quite see that now.
Did a good job getting to that one. Brandon Drury struck out to end the 1st.
Also something about a fielder having that comfort zone in a place also. And even though he might not have the same kind of instincts out in center field that he once had, speed out there, it's the comfort zone of playing and getting the jump off the bat. Difficult when you move a guy to one of the corner outfield spots to get that same kind of jump.
And with McCutchen, there are optics involved as well. He's been the foundation building block of this franchise, these good Pirate teams over the years. And he's been the star, and it's viewed as something of a demotion for him. As Drury hits a foul ball that Bell collects, and that's the second out. Fans, MLB.TV Premium is back, and it's better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices, and get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.TV for details. D-backs fans with us here in the Berg as Gregor Blanco steps in there.
Well, right now it looks like Williams is getting into that groove as you were kind of hitting on there. This is what happened last time when he faced the D-backs.
Blanco knocks it into right center. That ends a stretch of 7 straight retired by Williams, a 2-out single.
Blanco nailed that ball. Just jumped on a fastball. Just solid line shot. And that's the best way to get a guy out of a rhythm. Get him going from the stretch. Blanco's going to be a threat to steal a base.
Just the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Diamondbacks against Williams. Mathis was hit by a pitch up and in his first time up.
You know, especially when there's 2 outs, you got some speed on first base. You don't want your pitcher leading off next inning. It's a good time to take a little gamble.
Blanco 3 for 3 in his stolen base attempts this year. Mathis drives one foul. We'll take a look now at Trevor Williams. We talked about how Randall Delgado has been getting ahead in counts. Williams has done an excellent job throwing first pitch strikes.
Well, how about that? 15 of 17 of them. Well, that's what you're taught to do as a pitcher. Get ahead in the count, keep the ball down, generate ground balls.
Williams, since his win over the Diamondbacks back on May 13th, has a loss to the Phillies here at PNC Park and a no decision at Atlanta. But he's done a pretty good job. Long set, trying to slow Blanco down now. He holds it first, and Mathis gets it up in the air. Left field for Jaso, fighting that sun. And Williams strands the 2-out single. Bottom 4 in Pittsburgh. Diamondbacks lead the Pirates 1-0. The Pirates 1-0. Fans, Chaz Roberts has helped thousands of people in our community, and they would like to give back by continuing their AC giveaway. You can nominate a deserving family or a nonprofit organization that needs a brand new air conditioning unit. Log on to chazroberts.com/coolplay and submit your nominations. Entries have to be in by June 30th. Josh Harrison struck out to lead off the ball game for Pittsburgh. Delgado now the 2nd time through the order. So far, he struck out 5 of the 9 Pirates hitters he's faced.
Just excellent. First time through the order. He really dominated these guys.
Sure did. Struck out, in fact, 4 of the first 5. Giving up only 2 hits, both singles. A little roller to shortstop for Owings, 1 down.
Another good slider. He kept it down, kept it away off the plate.
Now, how often does Randall, we talked about this earlier, fastball really good, changeup really good, slider a work in progress. So how often does he actually have to work that slider in for it to be effective?
Well, I think he's got to throw it enough to be able to have a feel for it, develop a feel for it. And especially now here, we're starting to go through the lineup the second time.
Right.
You know, he's shown a really good fastball in this game, and so you have to complement it either with your changeup or your slider. And I don't know if there's an exact percentage that you have to throw. I think sometimes the situation dictates whether you need to throw more or not, but enough to keep the feel of it.
Just to get it in the hitters' heads a bit.
Yeah, you have to make it a, you have to make it a pitch.
What does that mean?
Make it, you're throwing it enough where they're saying, okay, this guy's got a 3-pitch pitcher, not like a 2-pitch pitcher. Occasionally we'll get a slider, so you don't really have it in the back of your mind.
Jordy Mercer, the shortstop. There's that Delgado fastball. It's not like Zach Greinke's eephus pitch where he might throw it once or twice max.
No, because really Zach, he's got his 4 pitches that he throws, and he can change speeds on his curveball, which you call the eephus pitch, even though 68 miles an hour, it's not really an eephus pitch.
Right.
He just changed speeds on it.
This is hit pretty deep right field. It backs up Peralta, and he can't get it. It's off the wall. Jordy Mercer takes the turn and heads for third, and he's in there with his first triple this year.
Mercer, you've been talking about how hot a hitter he has been. He got to hit his first at bat. This time going the opposite way, hit a line shot. And I thought Peralta had a beat on this. And as he goes back, and Mercer's watching it too, I think he thinks Peralta's going to catch it. And David just doesn't come up with it. Blanco in center field really isn't moving at all. And Peralta had to go retrieve that ball also, and that's what enabled Mercer to get into third base.
Well, Mercer was 0 for 3 here last night. The Pirates played the Mets in the Sunday night game, but that snapped a 6-game hitting streak for him. He had hit .500 during that streak, and now he's at third with 1 out for Josh Bell. Bell struck out his first time up.
Infield playing a little bit in right now, but as a pitcher in this situation, you got a 1-0 lead. You've already struck Bell out 1 time. This is where you try to get ahead of him again and put him away.
Keep in mind, you've got the dangerous Gregory Polanco on deck.
Ooh, nice pitch. Can't cover that inside fastball about hand high inside. It looks like he has a tough time getting to that.
Yeah, Bell is a big, tall, lanky guy, and he's got some holes in that swing that they've tried to close, trying to get him to be more compact, a little quicker to the ball.
Same zone, same area. Just didn't get the call, didn't get him the bite on it.
Josh Bell is a natural right-hand hitter, but he's switch hit since he was a kid. He's got power from both sides of the plate. Delgado even now 2-2.
2-1 fastball, and again, we saw, just like we saw his first at bat, he's been late on the fastball.
Well, what does that tell you right there?
It tells me if you're trying to throw an outside fastball and the guy's a little bit late on it, throw that fastball inside and up. It's harder to get to that pitch than it is on a pitch away.
Center field for Blanco. He's got it in the gap. Mercer coming home, and the game is tied. Not much Gregor Blanco could do there. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Now you go back to this, and Jeff Mathis wanted the fastball up and in again, and that's where they're trying to attack him, especially after the first swing of that at bat that he had. But he misses his target this time. He keeps this ball out over the plate and not up and in where Mathis wanted the ball, and that's why Bell was able to get to this. He wants it up and in. This ball goes up and away. He misses his target. Bell's able to get a piece of it.
So we're tied at 1, 2 down now. Bases empty for Gregory Polanco, who struck out in his first at bat against Randall Delgado.
Well, you like facing this guy when nobody's on base. Like you said, he's been swinging a hot bat. He's got a lot of talent.
Swings at the first pitch and hits a roller right by Drury into right center field. So Polanco's now hit safely in 8 straight.
Changeup fooled him. Was down and away, not a bad location at all, but you know, he just kind of kept that bat long enough in the zone and was able to guide it through the infield for a base hit.
John Jaso, the strikeout victim his first time up. Jaso, who hit .268 last year in his first season with Pittsburgh, really slumping right now, down to .214. Does have 3 home runs.
Well, with the shift on right there, he was thinking about dropping a bunt anywhere over by the third base side for a base hit.
Well, Jaso has shown some signs of coming around lately. He's got 10 hits in his last 9 games. Batting average earlier this month was down in the 140s for Jaso. Check swing foul, and it's 1-1.
It's that good changeup of Delgado. Jaso sees fastball right out of the hand and starts a swing, and then realizes that it's not the fastball, it's the changeup, and all he's going to do is get a little piece of it and foul it off.
How do you get a changeup to look like a fastball?
Right out of the hand. I mean, that's what makes the changeup effective. Is you have to have, first of all, good arm speed, just like your fastball, and then let the grip take some of the velocity out of the pitch.
So you can suddenly have a much slower arm. That's a big tip off, obviously.
Yeah, you have to really be able, if you don't disguise your changeup, ball's going to go a long ways, you know, especially with major league hitters. So you have to have good arm speed, number one, and have a very effective grip where you can, you know, take 6, 7, 8, 9 miles an hour off of that pitch. Now, some guys have a really great changeup like Zach Greinke, where it's a very hard changeup, but it has very good late movement. Almost looks like a splitter when he throws it.
Yeah, he's always said for him the changeup is not so much about velocity differential, much more about movement.
Yeah, the ball really moves, and you know, and again, he almost jumps when he throws it, and the hitter seems to jump after it.
You see that jump, you hear the grunt, and you're thinking fastball. Nope, changeup.
He's got the grunt change.
2-2 to Jaso. Keep Polanco close over there. Well, Delgado, as we mentioned, threw 61 pitches in his 4 innings of work last week against the White Sox. He's just under 60 so far here, trying to close out the 4th. Polanco takes off. The throw from Mathis is a good one, but they can't hang on. The shift was on. Jake Lamb had to cover the bag. It looked like the throw beat Polanco, but he's in there.
Yeah, looked like the throw was getting there right about when he was starting his slide, and Drury didn't really have, I think, really good possession of that ball. Good pitch to throw him out on, outside fastball. And right there, he had it, and the slide kind of gets there right when the ball does.
Now, this is one of the things about the overshift, in that Jake Lamb has to come in and cover the bag on that stolen base attempt. So you have some guys a little bit out of sorts in different spots.
And Lamb gets up right after he misses the throw. The throw comes out of his glove and trying to run over to third base, and Polanco tries to create a little obstruction that time by running into him. So wouldn't bite on it.
Polanco's at second, 2 outs, a 3-2 count on Jaso.
With these shifts nowadays, you don't know who's covered. Shortstop, second base, third base.
It's tough to tell. Well, you got the binocular, especially from way up here. McCutchen on deck in a 6-hole again today. You see Lamb near the bag at third. Drury hovering just behind Polanco at second, and Owings, the shortstop, out in short right field.
Slider that time. Just beats it foul down the right side. So one thing about Randall too is, as a hitter, you can't eliminate pitches from this guy. When he does fall behind in the count, doesn't mean he's going to throw a fastball. You know, he could throw a slider, he could throw his changeup. Hitters like to be able to eliminate pitches so they can sit on 1 or 2 pitches. But from Randall, he'll throw any pitch at any count.
Yeah, that's one of the things Torrey really likes about him.
Not predictable.
Yeah. 3-2 to Jaso one more time. On the ground, but into the shift. Drury is there. And that ends the inning. But the Pirates get the equalizer. We'll head to the 5th in Pittsburgh. It's 1-1. And Pirates are tied at 1. And now it's time for Getting to Know ARP, sponsored by AARP. Diamondbacks first base coach Dave McKay, a native Canadian. Homered in his first major league at bat back in 1975. Was the first Canadian-born player to play with the Blue Jays, and he's in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Dave McKay started at third base in the first ever Blue Jays game in the snow at Exhibition Stadium against the Chicago White Sox, who wore those goofy uniforms with the collars, and the players were down to the field before that game shoveling snow. They played in a blizzard.
Tell me they didn't play with their shorts on, though.
No, that was I think it was only one time, right, that they were allowed to do that.
Right.
Well, Randall Delgado, the pitcher, who's worked 4 innings so far, bats to lead off the 5th against Trevor Williams.
Well, see if Randall can help himself out here. He does handle the bat well. Not an easy out.
Up the middle, but Hansen gets over there. The second baseman throws him out. 1 down.
He got bat on ball. Didn't hit it hard, but he makes him make a play on him.
Trevor Williams been pretty solid so far. He's given up only 3 hits, all singles. Just turned 25 years old about a month ago. He's from San Diego, played his college ball at ASU, where he was a teammate and roommates with the Diamondbacks' Corey Hahn, who is now the D-backs pro scouting coordinator. In fact, Corey was a groomsman at Williams' wedding. Wow. So those two were very close. Williams wound up a 2nd-round pick by the Marlins in the draft 4 years ago. Pirates picked him up prior to last year. Chris Owings off the fist rolls one of Mercer at shortstop. 2 quick ground ball outs for Williams.
Got a fastball right on the hands of Owings that time. Tell you what, Williams has done a great job this 2nd time through the order. D-backs only 1 for 8 against him. 1 for 9, I should say.
Yeah, now going through the D-backs order for the 3rd time here. Peralta has been hit by a pitch in the foot and grounded out 0 for 1. David over his last 9 games hitting better than .360. Diamondbacks trying to get some of these bats going away from Chase Field. Change the road mojo this year. D-backs are 10-3 on the road so far this season. An outstanding 21-8 at home.
What a turnaround playing at home this year.
It's been unbelievable. Remember all the narrative last year? Oh, can't pitch there, can't hit there, they play lousy there. It just goes to show you none of that means anything. It all changes year to year. This is deep left center field. McCutchen won't get there. It's in the notch, and the freight train's on the tracks. David Peralta puts on the brakes at second with his 11th double. And that right there is why left field in this ballpark and left center is so hard to play. It gets behind you. The guys can really run.
They really can. Peralta with a great pass at the ball this time. McCutchen played pretty much out towards straightaway center field. It's a fastball about middle away, but he goes with the pitch. We've been talking about it. McCutchen goes after the ball, can't catch up with it, but he doesn't overrun it. He gets to the ball quickly and keeps Peralta at second base.
Well, you don't want to make the final out of the inning at third with Goldie coming up, so Peralta stops wisely at second there. And a chance for Paul Goldschmidt. 0 for 2 so far. Jammed him that time. Pops it up first base side for Bell. And again, Goldie chasing the first pitch of the at-bat. And Williams strands Peralta. All tied in Pittsburgh, 1-1.
Backs and Pirates. And let's take a look back at baseball history presented by Geico.
How about this is a special just for you, a matchup of Niekro versus Niekro, Joe and Phil. And in that game, Joe Niekro hit his only career home run off his brother Phil.
How about that?
It's amazing. May 29, 1976.
You think he gave him something to hit?
Depends what the score was, I guess, right?
Couldn't have hit a knuckleball, right?
Well, we made that up special for you. Our staff.
I love it.
You know, BB's on assignment, so the staff has nothing to do. He came up with that one. Here's McCutchen to lead off the fifth. Delgado back out there.
The flutter ball.
So they were saying, you know, Randall Delgado today, 5 innings, 75 pitches, give or take, and he's doing very well in terms of the pitch count right now.
Yeah, only 64 pitches right now. But, you know, more than that, it's, you know, when you watch him work right now, it's not like he's really exerting himself an awful lot. He's been fairly good in the strike zone. He's getting his ground balls. You know, he's not laboring it whatsoever.
And he strikes out McCutchen. Randall Delgado is 6th strikeout of the ball game, 1 down in the 5th. He seems to me to have a very easy, free-flowing delivery.
He certainly does. And again, that's a great changeup out of his hand. McCutchen sees fastball. He's out in front of that change, and it's not there when he swings.
The second baseman is Alan Hansen, who had an infield single his first time up. Switch hitter batting from the left-hand side. Hansen Only 200 on the year. He's got just 2 extra base hits all season. He's used mostly off the bench by Clinch Hurdle, but he gets the start here today.
Delgado again continues going from the stretch.
He really has settled into a nice rhythm out there. Even navigating his way through a little bit of a dicey 4th inning there when Mercer got the 1-out triple. Bell got the sac fly. Polanco singled, but he settled down, got Jaso.
I want to say back in 1995, maybe 96. I was a teammate of Hideo Nomo's on the Dodgers. What a good changeup. So we go to Coors Field. A rain delay. Game starts late. Nomo starting for the Dodgers. First batter of the game. He pitches from the windup. Doesn't like the mound. Goes from the stretch. And he throws a no-hitter.
From the stretch.
From the stretch the whole game. And so we asked him after that, why don't you just keep going from the stretch?
Yeah.
And he goes, he makes too much money from his windup in Japan. They called it the tornado.
Yeah, because it was a whole thing where he spun around.
Yeah, it was a big marketing deal. So he can't pitch from the stretch. He's got to pitch from the windup.
It's in his deal? No pitching from the stretch.
Not what's in his deal or not, but another guy used to switch jerseys between every inning. Every inning he would switch a jersey.
Well, Randall Delgado don't switch anything. Just over 70 pitches now. He's got 7 strikeouts.
Just another excellent pitch. Again, out of his hand. Changeup out in front. He just cannot read his changeup. And he's thrown enough fastballs to really, make that changeup that much more effective.
So for Nomo, do they have to have 8, 9 jerseys standing by for him?
They would always have those extra jerseys. And so he would take those jerseys and then somebody for him would sell them back in Japan.
Oh, come on, man.
He'd make $1 zillion.
Gets ahead of Chris Stewart, the catcher, 0-1. Boy, hard to ask for more than what they've got today from Randall Delgado. Pirates with just 4 hits, only 1 run. Randall's not walked a batter. He's got 7 strikeouts. And he's ahead of Stewart, 0-2.
He's a good slider. Keeps that right on the outside corner.
Pitcher Spatu up next. No one throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Maybe able to get, if he gets Stewart right here, 1 more inning out of him. Let's see. Randall Delgado, how about that? Out there for the 5th inning, and he strikes out the side. He got McCutchen and then Alan Hansen, and finally the catcher Stewart. Delgado through 5 has 8 strikeouts. We're in Pittsburgh, tied at 1.
Well, back here in Pittsburgh, where it is a dream sports day, you've got the Pirates and the D-backs right now, and then an 8 o'clock Eastern time start for Stanley Cup Finals Game 1 between the defending champion Pittsburgh Penguins and Nashville Predators. And there's a buzz in the clubhouse today, guys. A number of guys bought some tickets last night. Jeff Mathis, Archie Bradley, I think Tom Wilhelmsen. think they bought 5, and then some other guys were trying to get on the horn and get some tickets today. So should be a fairly big group of Diamondbacks representing tonight at the game, just a couple miles away at the PPG Paints Arena. And Robbie Ray, though, he's invested. Okay, he's from Tennessee, and he is going for the Preds. And J.J. Hoover is all about the Penguins, having grown up about 13 miles from here in Elizabeth. So those guys doing a little bit of trash talking today.
A big Penguin presence, certainly, Jody, as Jake Lamb leads off the 6th against the right-hander Trevor Williams. This is an enormous hockey town. They're used to winning here, and when the Penguins are in the Stanley Cup Finals. With game 1 tonight, it becomes a big-time hockey town, and that's why we're told the crowd here today is not that great. Lamb lifts it up left side. Harrison trying to fight the sun here, and he's got it. Yeah, normally we come in PNC Park and it's close to full, but hockey is at the forefront of everyone's mind here today.
Boy, right now, big time too.
Yeah, they have a good couple of days here. Today was a 4:05 local start. They've got game 1 tonight. Diamondbacks will play a very early getaway day game here Wednesday, with game 2 Wednesday night. So it's 2 baseball hockey doubleheaders here for Pirates and Penguins fans. Yasmani Tomas has knocked in the only run for the D-backs so far, a first inning single. Randall Delgado has more than accomplished his job. He's been outstanding. Time to get some offense for him here.
Yeah, we were hoping he would get through 5 innings and pitch count up, but he has done well more than that. He has been outstanding.
5 innings with 8 strikeouts. Tomas lifts that one toward the right field corner for Polanco, and he can't get it. Lands in foul ground. Now we'll check on Polanco, who slides into the fence. You almost immediately, you can see right there, run completely out of foul ground in the outfield here. And now they are sprinting out there to check on their right fielder.
You know, he's a tall guy, and that fence is padded. It goes up about maybe just above the waist, but knee crashes in there. And
now keep in mind, he just came off the DL after a left hamstring strain.
It looked like he was grabbing his left ankle to me as he was going down.
It looks like the
right ankle. Yeah, something on the right leg.
It got caught underneath that fence. There's a little room you can see where you can stick or slide your foot under that green padding, and the foot may have got caught underneath that. Let's see. Oh no, just up against it, bent backwards.
Man, that took a beating.
They're already without Starling Marte for that PED suspension, and they cannot afford to lose Polanco again. But he's going to be carted off here.
Just watching his facial expression on that, you know, he got hurt pretty badly on that one.
Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Now Clint Hurdle's going to have to improvise here.
And not only besides defensively improvise, but well, that's a big bat right out of your lineup.
Enormous. Just I mean, he's their best hitter, plain and simple. You know, they're without Marte. McCutchen has struggled, so they've dropped him down into the 6th spot. And now Jose Osuna is going to come out and take over in right field. It looks like Adam Frazier's getting busy in the dugout, but Osuna is making his way out there. We saw Osuna in the Pirates visit to Chase Field earlier this month. But if they're down for an extended period right now without Polanco, that's an enormous loss. And there is Jose Osuna. Because now you replace Polanco, your best hitter, with a rookie in Osuna, who's hitting only .211 on the year. So he takes over in right field for Polanco. Count of 0-2 on Yasmani Tomas. 1 out here in the 6th. D-backs had a 1-0 lead in the 1st on a Tomas RBI single. Pirates tied it against Randall Delgado in the 4th. A triple by Jordy Mercer, a sac fly by Josh Bell.
You know, a lot of the new ballparks also, your corner outfielders, they don't have a lot of room to work with because they're a lot shorter than they used to be.
Well, Tomas swings and misses a pitch that hit him. That one just really tied Yasmani up inside, and now here comes Ryan DePanfilo.
Coming inside, hits him on the right hip.
That's us now. Torey Lovullo's out to talk to Adrian Johnson. Even if you swing and miss on a pitch that hits you, it's still an out. In this case, a strikeout because there were 2 strikes.
Yeah, 2 strikes. That's a strikeout.
But Torey pleading his case with Adrian Johnson, the plate umpire.
Well, that's either a case of Yasmani not seeing the ball well or tremendous movement by that of Williams. Maybe a little combination of both.
Well, you've got that. I'm going to go through the whole sunlight shadow thing again after 4 games in Milwaukee, but the shadow here is starting to creep up just behind home plate right now. Not that it was a factor on that particular play, but it will be soon. So that's a strikeout for Trevor Williams. His 3rd of the ball game, 2 outs now, and here's Brandon Drury. Brandon has struck out, popped up. He's 0 for 2. Coming off a 3-hit day in Milwaukee yesterday.
A 2-out rally going here. You know, early in the season, the D-backs, especially at home, they had so many great 2-out rallies. I'd love to get one going here.
Well, they actually kind of had a mini one there in the 1st inning when Lamb singled with 2 outs after Peralta had been hit by a pitch, and then David scored on Tomas RBI single with 2 outs. But yeah, you'd like to see a crooked number up there for sure, especially with the way Randall Delgado has pitched here today. He has been outstanding. Randall through 5 innings, only 1 run on 4 hits allowed, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. Looks at a 3-0.
I think looking ahead, I don't know if Torey's going to let him go more than 6 innings. Because sometimes, like you were talking about earlier, sometimes it's not the pitches, but sometimes it's just the up and downs.
Yeah, Chip Hale was awfully big on that. The up down, something you don't think about. Back and forth from the dugout to the field, and a number of times over the course of the game. But Williams works a 1-2-3 6th. We're tied at 1 at PNC Park. Delgado coming back out. Pittsburgh Diamondbacks and the Pirates are tied at 1. Hey fans, don't forget post-game fireworks are coming up at Chase Field. The next holiday on the calendar, the 1st of July. We'll celebrate Independence Day a little early this year. July 1st, 7:10. First 20,000 fans get the soft style State 48 patriotic t-shirt. Then after the D-backs game against the Rockies, you can relax as the roof opens up for a fireworks spectacular. Brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Get your ticket now for our July 4th celebration on July 1st at dbacks.com. That'll be a big series, D-backs and Rockies.
Huge series.
David Freese will hit for the pitcher Trevor Williams to lead off the 6th. Randall Delgado back out there. And approaching 80 pitches. Freese fights that one off, and it's 1-2.
Nice pitch. Good hard fastball. In on the hands.
David Freese, 262 and 5 homers. He's hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games.
Effective pitch. Change up. Everyone thinks it's a fastball, but change up a little up and in.
Look like the pitch that hit Jeff Mathis earlier in the ball game from Trevor Williams. Comes in again, same pitch and missed, and the count is full 3-2.
Want to get this first guy of the inning out. Josh Harrison on deck in the top of the order. Nice pitch. Good slider. It's a half swing by Freese that time, but again, there's Randall Delgado being able to throw any pitch in any count. Very good 3-2 slider after 2 changeups inside.
Fly ball along the right field line. Peralta coming in, and foul ground is Goldie, and he runs it down. Nice play.
Nicely done by Goldie. Not an easy play for a first baseman. Always going back like that. You got fans, you got the crowd to contend with there. Also, you can feel your second baseman, you can feel your right fielder coming in, and really Goldie, the only guy that's got a chance to catch that ball, and he does it perfectly.
Well, with Delgado now over 80 pitches, the bullpen will start to get it cranked up. J.J. Hoover and Andrew Chafin warming up down there. And now Delgado set to work through the Pirate order for the 3rd time today. The leadoff man, Josh Harrison, is 0 for 2.
Still popping it up there at 94 miles an hour, but again, it's his location that has just been so excellent right now.
He's set down the last 5 Pirates he's faced. And keeping Harrison off the bases is no small feat these days. He starts this game with a 10-game hitting streak, batting almost .390 during that streak, including a couple of home runs. 1-2.
His changeup has been lethal. Really enjoy watching just the combination of fastballs and changeups.
Randall so far has given up only 4 hits. He's not walked a batter. He's got 8 strikeouts. You see that shadow now creeping across home plate. Fastball away, missed, and it's 2-2. .85 pitches, 59 for strikes. The shortstop Mercer, 2 for 2 so far, is on deck. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Eric Cooper down there. The count is full.
Boy, Jeff Mathis certainly wanted that. It was a good slider down way off the plate. But Adrian Johnson didn't bite on it. Harrison well off the plate, likes to stride into the pitch.
It's it on the ground to shortstop. Chris Owings collects that, throws him out, 2 down. Good pitch there by Delgado to a very good hitter.
Made a bunch of good pitches to Harrison that at bat. Really pitched him well. Got the easy ground ball to shortstop.
Well, 1 more out to get through 6 innings for Delgado. Not yet at 90 pitches. The shortstop Jordy Mercer, single in the 1st, tripled and scored in the 4th.
Probably been the guy that's given him the most trouble in this game.
Oh yeah. Hits ahead with a fastball. It's 0-1.
Mercer looks like he likes hitting the ball the other way. That was a fastball, a little bit up, elevated in the zone, but he was trying to hit that ball to right field also. You see a guy do that, you got to straighten him up once in a while. Got to come inside hard. Good slider there, just missed down and away.
Mercer really heating up. He'd been batting lower in the order for most of the year, but he's been in the 2-hole recently. .340 over his last 13 games.
There's that pitch we were calling for.
Worked the slider down and away, fastball up and in. He swung right through it.
Yeah, he had no chance of hitting that pitch. If he hit that, it was probably about 2 inches above his hands. Would have been able to do nothing with it. But again, he's looking for the on the outside, middle away is what he's looking for right now.
90 pitches, 62 strikes. Came in again. Changeup that time and missed. And again, the count is full. It's 3-2.
He's missed with his changeup a few times. He's hitting inside. A couple to Harrison, that one there to Mercer.
Now check that, 2-2 on the count. With Josh Bell on deck. Each team with 1 run on 4 hits. Delgado trying to finish 6 innings. With Mercer 3 for 3. He's been the fly in the ointment here today. A 2-out single.
Mathis wanted the slider. Delgado gave it to him. It wasn't a bad one out over the plate, but again, on the outside part of the plate is exactly where Mercer was looking for. You can see it by the hole at bat, and that slider, he just pokes up the middle.
Well, here comes Torey Lovullo. He's going to make a move, checking in with Adrian Johnson. You've got a right and a left-hand thrower warming up in the bullpen. Bell is a switch hitter, so you could flip him around to either side you want here. We'll see what Torey Lovullo tries to do when we come back. Today and a spot start by Randall Delgado. It's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing cool plays of the game. He went 5 2/3, Candy, had 8 strikeouts without a walk.
He was excellent, and he did it by really switching up and utilizing all of his pitches. The fastball, his changeup kept him off everything that he was throwing, and the slider was effective also. So he used all of his pitches, and he was on the attack this whole game.
Well, he couldn't get Jordy Mercer out. Mercer 3 for 3. He's at first now after a 2-out single. Double switch by Torey Lovullo as they'll flip the switch hitting Josh Bell around to the other side, make him bat right-handed against the lefty Andrew Chafin. It's the Ashline call to the bullpen. Chafin has been excellent at 2.12 ERA. Chris Herman takes over in left field now as Yasmani Tomas comes out of the game. So Herman bats 9th pitcher spot, now 5th for the Diamondbacks. Chafin and Bell, 2 outs, and Mercer the runner at first. Josh Bell, a natural right-hand hitter, but as most switch hitters do, bats much more often for the left-hand side. 244 lefty, only 205 as a right-hand hitter, but he can take you deep from the right side of the plate.
Nice pitch that time. Just misses the outside corner. I always think it's something too when you have a switch hitter that's already had, in this case, 2 at-bats from the left-hand side, but flop them over to the right-hand side. It's something different.
And the numbers certainly say that's the right move here. Keep an eye on Mercer at first. Bell is a guy that's had a lot of moving parts in his swing. They've tried to get him to simplify, get that front foot down early. Try and track the ball as best he can. Be a little more selective up there. You can see he's a big, tall guy. 6'2", 230.
Still slide open stance even from the right side, almost identical to the left side.
Well, Chafin's fallen behind here, 3-1. Osuna, who came on for the injured Polanco, was on deck.
Very important statistic when you bring a reliever in the middle of an inning is that first batter efficiency. You can look at the ERA, you can look at all that, but you got to get that first guy out.
Swing and a miss on the fastball, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Got to break that time. That ball was down and away out of the zone, and the shadows have kind of, you mentioned that before, they've kind of crept out there a little bit right now, where they might have a little bit to do with the hitter trying to see the ball.
And you can see the entire home plate area now covered in shadow. Mercer takes off from first, and Chafin comes in and strikes out Josh Bell. We'll head to the 7th inning in a tie ball game, and on this Memorial Day, USAA honors our fallen heroes.
You know, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 p.m. the following day at participating locations.
Oh, Randall Delgado just outstanding. A big final out to end the 6th, recorded by Andrew Chafin. And now the Pirates get into their bullpen. Here's Juan Nicasio, a 1.66 ERA this year. He has been scored on in only 4 of those 23 appearances. He came into the game against the Mets here Saturday night and struck out 3 batters on 12 pitches. So he has been really effective in relief for Clint Hurdle and the Pirates. He'll work to Gregor Polanco to lead off the 7th.
The D-backs pitching has been outstanding. Now the offense needs to crank it up a little bit.
Yeah, you said it. Only 4 hits for the Diamondbacks, 3 of them singles. Peralta had a 2-out double in the 5th, was stranded there. You can see those flags now dead still out there in left center field. So here's Blanco, who has struck out single, 1 for 2.
Yeah, this is, again, we talked about when you're at the number 7 part of the batting order, you need to get some guys on base and just try to turn the lineup over.
Well, you've got the double switch, so Herman, playing left field, is batting 9th now, pitcher spot 5th for the Diamondbacks, so that helps a little bit.
Get him on, get him over, get him in, right?
Looking for one right here. You'll take that at this point. Pulls back on a fastball and takes a ball. It's 1-1 from Juan Nicasio. One thing you like about Nicasio, if you're a Pirate fan, he keeps it in the ballpark. Even against lefties with that short right field porch here, he hasn't given up a home run since last September. 2-1 to Gregor Blanco.
Good stuff. Comes right at you. I've seen him enough over the years.
Former Colorado Rocky.
It's always got to be a plus when you're pitching at Coors Field and you come to a place like PNC Park. What a difference it is. Being able to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Missed with a fastball away. Another good at bat by Gregor Blanco. He's worked at full 3-2 with Mathis on deck.
Gregor Blanco is such a professional hitter. We see these types of at bats all the time from him. Now just has had a great at bat. Now you got to win the at bat.
Looks at a breaking ball for a strikeout. One down in the 7th.
Fooled him on the slider. Looking fastball, got the slider. He was buckled on it.
Jeff Mathis has been hit by a pitch and flied out.
We were talking about for the Pirates hitters, also now for the D-backs hitters, really kind of experiencing that shadow effect.
Funny because there was a big cloud in front of the sun during that entire Blanco at bat until the last pitch, when suddenly it got a whole lot brighter out there, and he was caught looking at a slider. Now there's a big contrast between home plate and the pitcher's mound. Sunlight and shadow. See, Jeff's got the eye black on down there. One and one.
A pretty good slider that time. Was not called a strike.
Adrian Johnson behind the plate today.
Nice little gap out in left center field for Mathis. Cutchin shaded towards right center. And we've seen Jeff pull a lot of balls with the D-backs.
Oh yeah. He's hit a lot of balls hard into the left field corner, both home and away. There's a look at the Pirates outfield defensively. See McCutchen out there close to right center field. Osuna well off the line in right.
Find that gap in left center.
Fastball up, lays off, and it's 2-2. It's not a great defensive outfield right now for Pittsburgh. You've got Jaso in left. He hardly ever plays out there. And then we talked about McCutchen in center, and Osuna's in there for Polanco in right. Fly ball shallow left center. McCutchen a long run from where he was, but he's got it for the second out.
Well, he was trying. Just got a little underneath that ball, popped it up.
First at bat today for the Herminator. Took over for Yasmani Tomas in left field as part of a double switch by Torey Lovullo. Chris, 186, 5 homers. Started 2 games in Milwaukee in left field. Was 0 for 7 with a couple of walks at Miller Park. Bases empty, 2 outs. D-back still with only 4 hits. That's strike 1. Offense yesterday was deadly quiet up until that 4-run 8th inning. And had only 3 hits on Saturday at Miller Park when Chase Anderson was so outstanding for the Brewers. So it's a stretch here now of 3 games in a row where the bats have been very quiet.
Yeah, and Miller Park has always been such a really good place to hit.
They got 2 outstanding pitching performances this weekend from Chase Anderson and Jimmy Nelson yesterday. Nelson was by far the best we've ever seen him yesterday. Jimmy Nelson.
10 strikeouts, was it?
Yeah, no walks, 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. Herman ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Popped up and behind the Pirate dugout. There's almost no foul ground in this ballpark. One of the things that makes this such a gorgeous ballpark, it's very intimate. It's tiny. It's built for about 37,000. And there's almost no outfield seating, but the infield bowl seats are really right on top of the field. There's no foul ground here. Almost literally none in the outfield, as we saw with that Polanco play.
Yeah, that's what we're referring to before, because there's not that much foul territory there. So it makes it tough on the corner outfielders. They're running after a ball, so you have to slide before you really hurt yourself. And Polanco ended up paying the price.
Yeah, you really have to start sliding in fair territory.
Yeah.
Because you can't have more than one step out there in either outfield corner. I mean, look how narrow that is in there. That's right where Polanco was injured.
And it is padded, but still, I mean, you're going full bore for a ball. That padding's not that much.
Well, we saw Polanco bend his right foot backward, getting it stuck up against that pad.
Yeah, Wrigley feels like that, but a bit more difficult there.
And even around the infield, there's very little foul ground. One of the things that makes this such a great ballpark to come and watch a game in. You are right on top of the field. Boy, Chris Herman with a tremendous battle here going against Nicasio.
Spoiling some pitches. It just always seems to me when Chris Herman gets in a lineup, he's doing something. I know he had a tough time in Milwaukee, not hitting that high of an average this year, only a 186, but it seems like he's in the middle of rallies all the time.
He was in the clubhouse today before the game looking at video for a long time. Even in a game that, there's another foul ball, a game that he knew he wasn't going to start. Herman was right in front of the computer watching pitch after pitch of some of these Pirate pitchers just to get himself ready.
Such an advantage in today's game. You can start looking at all the video on all the relief pitchers you might be facing.
You can look at it in the dugout on an iPad. They have that stuff ready. Takes that pitch inside. This is a tremendous at bat by Chris. He's worked the count full 3-2.
More pitches you see, the better at bat you're usually going to have. It pays off for him. Slider spoils that one.
Now, if you're the pitcher, how irritated are you right now?
You're pretty irritated. You're right on the money. You're going, all right, enough already. Hit the ball to somebody.
The 11th pitch of this at bat on the way to Chris Herman. Oh, called third strike on a fastball. Adrian Johnson rings him up. We stretch in Pittsburgh, still tied at 1. Pennsylvania. Diamondbacks and the Pirates, first of a 3-game series, tied at 1 as we start the home half of the 7th inning. Fans, June 15th, the U.S. Open heads to Erin Hills, just outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as Dustin Johnson will defend his title, the 117th U.S. Open. It starts June 15th on Fox, on FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Andrew Chafin back out there to start the 7th. Jose Osuna, who came in for the injured Gregory Polanco, will lead it off. Osuna, the new right fielder, batting .211 with 3 homers, only 4 hits in his last 29 at bats. He's not played much this month.
707 OPS.
OPS, of course, is on base percentage plus slugging percentage.
Ideally, you like to have those guys a little over 800, right? OPS, that's when you're doing some damage.
Well, OPS can be a little ambiguous because you don't know how much of it is the on base and how much is the slugging. Is the guy getting on base at a 400 clip? Is he slugging 550? Does that account for how much of the number does each category account for? But it gives you a good ballpark idea. Most of the analytics for me are good places from which to start a conversation rather than end one. Some of the real hardcore people will give you the number and say, okay, that's it, end of discussion. Well, no, now hold on, not so fast.
But then your OPS plus, basically your league average, what you're above the league average.
OPS
right?
plus, I'm a big fan of that stat myself. Yeah. As you put it exactly right, OPS plus is OPS but adjusted for a lot of factors like league average and, more importantly, home ballparks. And that's off the glove of Lamb. A diving attempt at third. Osuna's aboard. He'll pull up at second base. Has always had to run a long way over there to get that ball, which kind of died along the left field foul line. So a leadoff double for Jose Osuna.
Man, he just kind of reached out, got this ball, kind of golfed it. And Lamb gets a quick first step, dives for the ball, kicks the end of his glove, and took enough off that ball where CO had to really scramble out there to retrieve that ball. But Osuna gets into second base now.
And now Owens will jog over to his right field shift position for the left-hand hitting John Jaso, who's 0 for 2. There's CO making his way out to the outfield grass. 1-1 ball game, 7th inning. Leadoff man in scoring position. Here is Jaso.
Jaso will be up here trying to pull the ball to the right side, trying to get Osuna over to third base.
Jammed him, popped it up. Chris Owings has it. That's the first out of the bottom of the 7th. Well, that helps.
That is huge right there. A nice pitch. I think that was a slider, but to me it looked like it just kind of stayed there on the inside part. And Jaso was expecting that ball to break, didn't break, and he jams himself and pops it up.
Well, Torey Lovullo has a right-hander ready to face Andrew McCutchen with the go-ahead run at second and 1 out. We'll take a break. We're in the 7th at Pittsburgh. 1-1 ball game. D-backs and the Pirates. ball game going here. 1-1 7th inning. Hey fans, bring Dad to Chase Field on Sunday, June 25th. As the D-backs celebrate dads with a Dad's Day special event. Fans who buy a special Father's Day ticket package for Dad will get a ticket to the game, a D-backs Dad cap. Get your tickets at dbacks.com/dad. The right-hander J.J. Hoover answering the Ashline call to the bullpen. His 22nd appearance of the year, an ERA right at 3, brought on to face Andrew McCutchen, with Jose Osuna at second base as the go-ahead run. 1 out here in the 7th. McCutchen 0 for 2.
29 Ks in 18 innings, and he could use one right here.
I think they have developed, Candy, enormous faith, and justifiably so, in J.J. Hoover in these high leverage spots.
Yeah, exactly. The high leverage spots, bringing him in situations like this. You trust this guy. He has earned that trust.
Fastball away, missed. It's 1-1 on McCutchen, who's hit safely in each of his last 4 games. He hit a long home run here Saturday against the Mets. So far today, he's popped up and struck out. Osuna at second after a leadoff double. That pitch is a ball, and it's 2-1.
You do have an open base in this situation. You really want to put a guy on, but
there's no reason to give McCutchen something to hit with first base open and Hansen and Stewart coming up.
Exactly right.
I mean, that's what you lose if you're Clint Hurdle when you drop Andrew McCutchen down to the 6 hole. He doesn't have a whole lot behind him, but they've dropped him down there from the 3 spot, trying to take some of the pressure off, get his bat going.
And what you could do right now, you can just become a corner pitcher. You don't have to try to outstuff him. You know, throw your best stuff, but locate it on a corner.
Tried to and missed. It's full.
If you missed, it's okay. Even if you take the bat out of his hands by walking him, you still set up a potential double play scenario. .95 on that fastball, right on the outside part of the plate.
Sixth in the order, the lowest Andrew McCutchen has hit in the lineup is in his entire career. First time in more than 2 years he's hit anywhere other than third. The 3-2 from J.J. Hoover. Just missed.
Nice pitch. Good slider, down and away, borderline pitch. It starts actually over the plate. Normally your hitters are going to chase a pitch like this.
Oh wow.
It just missed. Probably could have been called.
Yeah. I mean, Adrian Johnson rung up Chris Herman on a pitch that was not a strike to end the top half of this inning. Didn't get the call there either. So Osuna's at second, McCutchen's at first, 1 out. And here is the second baseman, the switch hitter Alan Henson.
That's a hard one to swallow. You make a great quality pitch like that, you don't get the call.
Yeah. But you live with it. You're fine now, right? Just try and get a ground ball here if you can, because Hanson's going to take some bad swings up there. He's down 0-1.
Breaking ball that time, gets a swing and a miss. Started off the at bat. You're right. You'll take the ground ball double play right here. You'll take the strikeout. Just looking to get an out here.
Hanson, as he steps in right here, just 5 for his last 31 at the plate. J.J. Hoover's throwing all kinds of stuff up there.
That was a breaking ball well off the plate away. Mathis doesn't like the look of that breaking ball, the way the shape of it. So he comes out and is having a little talk with him right now.
What do the infielders want to know there?
I think when you see both middle infielders come in, they're almost looking to see if you're going to change the signs. Mathis ran out there right away, and catchers have a completely different vantage point, so they can see that leader, the lead runner at second base. He's doing something funny. Does he cross it over when he takes his lead? Is he leaning one way? Trying to locate relay location or relay the pitch even.
Well, he's got a couple of rookies here. Osuna at second is a rookie, so is Hansen at the plate.
That leads you to believe they're really not trying to relay anything.
And again, an awkward swing from Hansen, and Hoover's ahead 1-2.
3 breaking balls that time. That was another good one, down and in the dirt. Got to go same pitch. He's up there. He's trying to hit. He wants to hit.
Well, he's tried to check on that pitch twice and failed. The catcher, Chris Stewart, who's not hit much this year, is on deck.
JJ gets a lot of strikeouts with high fastballs. Here, I think you stay with that slider down.
Missed with it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Shadows have passed. They're past the pitcher's mound now. It's all in the shade area.
Jorge De La Rosa, the left-hander, warming up in the D-backs bullpen. Two and 2 to Alan Hansen. Lifts this one foul ground. Might be room for Lamb here, and he's got it. A huge out number 2 recorded by J.J. Hoover.
Well, after all those breaking balls, he went upstairs with the fastball, beat him upstairs, and got an easy little pop-up. A nice play by Jake as he's going towards the tarp area over by third base and reaches out and hauls it in.
As we mentioned, not a lot of room over there, but it was just enough for Lamb. And here's the catcher, Stewart, who's 0 for 2. Batting only .205 on the year. 1-1 in the 7th, 2 on and 2 out.
Missed with a slider just off the plate away. Hoover's a really aggressive pitcher. He doesn't usually try to monkey around. He usually comes right after you.
You think that's why he's so good in these types of situations?
I do. I mean, he's got one thing on his mind. He's going to pound that catcher's glove.
Same pitch that time, got it in there for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Some guys have that great ability just to be able to keep their heartbeat the same. You don't see him get too excited out there. He's so focused on that catcher's glove.
Missed up with a fastball. It's 2-1. Pitcher spot is up next for the Pirates. Adam Frazier is the on-deck hitter. He's a left-hand batter. Torey Lovullo has Jorge De La Rosa warming up in the bullpen. But the focus now on Chris Stewart. 2-1 missed.
Tugged on a fastball that time. Hoover's not going to give in. He's not going to lay one down the middle of the plate. He does, and we've seen him this year. He has that ability to be able to turn it up a notch when he has to.
3 balls and 1 strike. Here it is. This is in the air, pretty well hit, deep left center field. And it's off the wall. Osuna scores, McCutchen right behind, and Stewart is in there at third with a 2-run triple. Although I think he's injured. Joey Cora, the third base coach down there, signaling to the Pirate dugout, and Stewart has indeed hurt his left leg.
He gets a fastball right down the middle of the plate that time, and he kisses that ball. Blanco, the center fielder, was playing well towards right center. Herman trying to run this ball down, can't catch up with it. And Stewart running into third base. Some grimace right before he goes into his dive.
Yeah, it looks like his leg went halfway between second and third. It's the left knee. They've already lost Gregory Polanco to an injury. He had to be carted off the field when he ran into the wall in right field. And here's the backup catcher, Chris Stewart, now.
Kind of hurts right there getting that 3-1. Give him a fastball there, but not much location on that. That was pretty much about belt high down the middle. He He kissed that ball well out to left center.
Drove it to the deepest part of the ballpark. And Stewart will limp off. Tyler Glass now, the pitcher, has a helmet on. Looks like he's getting ready to run for Stewart.
Two guys down for the Pirates today.
But they lead the ball game now 3-1. Pitcher spot is right here. Adam Frazier is the hitter. Frazier, 327, 3 homers. He's had a good year, but the bat lately's been quiet. He's 4 for 23 in his last 6 games. Glass now runs for Stewart at third.
Got a double switch going on here now with Torrey.
Checking in with Adrian Johnson. Nick Ahmed is going to come into the ball game here. And we'll take a break from Pittsburgh. Diamondbacks now trailing 3-1. Chris Stewart, a 2-run triple to left center field has given the Pirates a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 7th. We're still going here. Hey, fans, don't miss the D-backs and the Brewers series at Chase Field, June 9th through the 11th. First 20,000 fans to the game on Saturday the 10th. Get a really soft, nice big pool towel courtesy of Gila River Casinos, the perfect collectible for the pool this summer. And then on Sunday, June 11th, Baxter has invited you and all of his mascot buddies to celebrate his birthday and MLB's Play Ball Weekend. First 10,000 kids there get a bat and ball set. So get your tickets, dbacks.com, Chase Field, June 9th through the 11th. Double switch here by Torey Lovullo. Jorge De La Rosa comes on to face the left-hand pinch hitter Adam Frazier. Ball 1 to Frazier. Nick Ahmed takes over at shortstop, replacing Chris Owings. And Seo moves over to left field, replacing Chris Herman.
Seo really showing his versatility all over the place.
2-0 on Frazier.
This is the guy Torrey really wants to get. That's why he brings De La Rosa in right here against Frazier. Lefty on lefty. You said before Harris has been swinging a hot bat.
Frazier on the ground. Shift is on. Ahmed collides with Drury. Upends Brandon Drury with a Stanley Cup Finals hip check. And still records the out. What a play. Shift was on. Ahmed cut over there to get it. And the inning ends. But the Diamondbacks are trailing now 3-1. 7th, the shift was on. Nick Ahmed cut over there to get that Frazier ground ball and was in front of Drury, who went flying.
Ahmed's calling for the ball. You can see him calling for it. And boy, that was dangerous. You always want to go for the ball, and I think by the time that Drury realized, he tries to get out of Nick's way, but Nick Ahmed just so cool, calm, and collected out there. He's able to make a big play. That would have cost him a run if they don't make that play.
I mean, Brandon's a bull, man. I mean, he is a strong, fast young man. That's not a delicate play at all.
No.
But Nick really hung in there and made it to win that 7th inning. But now the Diamondbacks have some work to do, trailing 3-1 as we start the top of the 8th inning here at PNC Park. And on for the Pirates is the left-hander Felipe Rivero, who has given up an earned run in only 2 of his 26 outings this year, a .7 ERA. And with Chris Stewart having to leave the ball game after that 2-run triple, Francisco Cervelli comes in to take over behind the plate.
You got changes all over the place right now.
Adam Frazier stays in the game. He takes over in left field, replacing Jaso, and Gift Ngope replaces Hansen at second base.
Now D-backs down by 2 runs. Critical now to get some guys on base.
Time to get it going here. The leadoff man Chris Owings now playing left field for the Diamondbacks, 0 for 3. Will lead off the 8th. Lights are on now at PNC Park. Some clouds overhead.
.99 on that fastball. Yeah, this kid's got a great arm. He'll hit triple digits.
6 straight scoreless appearances for Felipe Rivero. He's got at least 1 strikeout in 13 of his last 15 games. Behind on Owings, 3-0. Need a base runner, at least 1.
Not even close with those pitches either.
Well, this is the first time we've had really consistent lighting here on the field today. Some cloud cover behind us, so all the lights are on. That'll work. A leadoff walk.
Not one of those pitches was really even that close to the strike zone. That last one well off the plate away.
Well, now he'll face the left-hand hitting David Peralta. David 6 for 27 versus lefties this year. That's a .222 batting average.
Always a good start to the inning. A leadoff walk. Create a little stress out there on the pitcher.
Peralta doubled his last time up. 1 for 2. He was also hit by a pitch. He scored the Diamondbacks' only run. Coming home on a Yasmani Tomas RBI single back in the 1st inning. He back still with only 4 hits. Well, Rivero still hasn't thrown a strike.
I think Cervelli calls the slider just to try to keep him closed.
What do you mean?
A lot of times when you see a pitcher come out, especially a hard thrower, they really fly open as they're trying, they're max F guys. So by calling a breaking ball, it keeps that front shoulder in, enables them to have a little bit better command.
There's a strike, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 1-1 on Peralta. David coming off a 2-hit game yesterday in Milwaukee.
Good slider that time to him. 79 miles an hour on the slider, and you got about 99 on the fastball. That's a 20-mile-an-hour difference.
See why this guy's so effective.
He has no doubt about it. I wouldn't even really call that a slider. It's almost like a slurve. But that's a big differential between velocities.
It's a tapper to third. Tricky play here for Harrison, and Peralta's aboard. Well, that worked out. Almost no chance for Josh Harrison to come in and make a play.
It's the beauty of making contact when you have to. Another breaking ball just right off the end of the bat. Doesn't hit it that well, and Harrison playing well off the bag, as you mentioned. By the time he gets to that ball, there's no way he can get Peralta. And now you got the potential winning run at the plate.
Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 3.
Goldie's been very, very, impatient, I guess you want to call it, this game. Very aggressive up there, swinging at the first pitch.
He swung at the first pitch twice so far today in 3 at-bats. Owings at second, Peralta at first. They're the tying runs. Takes a... What was that? Slider?
Looked like a changeup.
Changeup. Changeup at 88's in there, and it's 0-1. Squirts one foul down the first base line. Chaso's over there. He's taken over at first for Bell, coming in from left field.
Yeah, Goldie's got a battle here. We'll only see Paul once he gets 2 strikes on him. He really sets his sights towards right center.
Came in with a fastball at 99. Goldie spits on it. It's 1-2.
Cervelli wanted that pitch. Fastball in tight, just missed the inside corner.
These two have seen each other before. Goldie against Rivero back on the 13th of this month. Goldie homered off Rivero in the 8th inning. Checks his swing in the 8th inning here. This was the home run earlier this month at Chase Field.
Right center field stroke. That's what he needs here.
He's back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, nobody out. Down 3-1. Right to the shortstop Mercer, and Gope for one, and they can't turn it. It gets by Chaso. Here comes Owings. He's going to have to stop halfway home, and they got him hung up, and he makes it back to third safely. John Chaso whiffed on that one. The relay from Ngope as they try and turn 2, and now it's first and third, 1 out. So the Diamondbacks catch a big break there.
Big time. What a crazy play. That looked like a tailor-made double play.
Yeah.
Watch this ground ball right there. Mercer did a perfect flip, and Gope with the throw, but it gets off Chaso's glove, ticks it a little bit, and comes right back to him. CO rounds third base and almost gets himself in a pickle, but gets back into third base on another throw that could have gotten by Harrison.
Chaso is the defensive upgrade at first base for Josh Bell, who's a converted outfielder, and he just didn't want to come off the bag to get that high throw from Ngope. And the D-backs catch a break, not only with the throw, but with CO getting back to that bag at third after he came flying around from second. Here's Jake Lamb. So Jake with a difficult at bat here against a hard throwing lefty. Lamb this year 8 for 48 versus left-hand pitchers, a 167 batting average. He has homered twice against lefties this year. Down quickly 0-2.
We were in San Diego. We asked Torrey, when you had a left-handed batter like Jake facing a tough left-handed pitcher, what is the approach? He says you got to divide the plate in half, and you either got to pick inside or you got to pick outside. You can't pick both.
Oh boy, it's tough to be too selective when this guy's throwing 100 miles an hour at you.
Boy, it makes it tough, especially when that ball's up and in.
Another day in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Ahmed is the on deck hitter. Owens at third, Goldschmidt at first, 1 out. Popped it up, foul ground. Harrison a long way to come in on this, and he makes a sliding grab. Josh Harrison collects the second out.
Harrison made a really nice play on this ball. He's the only one that could get to it, and he comes running in a long way since he's playing off the bag at third base, and he's got a slide, do a little pop-up slide, and he catches this ball. I mean, he is racing in, almost tags the base as he runs over it. Pop-up slide, makes the catch right in front of the dugout.
Well, it's up to Nick Ahmed here. 2 on and 2 out, and this is not a bad spot for the Diamondbacks with Nick's approach against left-hand pitchers. Torrey often bats him in the 2-hole against lefties, and he's hitting almost .380 versus left-handers this year.
He's had very good success against them.
Owens at third, Goldie at first, down 2 with 2 outs. First at bat today for Nick.
Trying to come inside to him that time. He misses well down and in.
Ahmed 266. He's got 4 home runs. He's hit safely in each of his last 3 games, all starts, and is hitting over 300 this month.
Guy throwing 100 miles an hour out there, throws the changeup to him.
I mean, you're talking about a 12 or 13 mile an hour difference sometimes. Yeah. Fastball to changeup with Rivera. Can't quite check his swing. Wanted to. A ball and 2 strikes.
Now another changeup away off the plate. I gotta believe they're going to try to go upstairs with a fastball here.
Well, there is some good news regarding the NL West. The Rockies just lost their game. Mariners beat Colorado 6-5. 1 and 2 on Nick Ahmed. Reaches out and hits a slow roller to third. Harrison has to charge, and he's able to make the play. Diamondbacks had a chance there. First and second, no outs. Can't get a run home. It stays 3-1. Trail the Pirates 3-1 as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 2 of this 3-game set. A good pitching matchup here. Robbie Ray versus Ivan Nova. Boy, Robbie Ray's been sensational lately.
Well, he's just been. There's not enough superlatives for Robbie. He has been outstanding. That last game, he was electric.
There was.
New pitcher on for the Diamondbacks. It's the bartender, Tom Wilhelmsen. 24th appearance of the year for Tom. He'll face the leadoff man, Josh Harrison, who made a couple of nice defensive plays in the top half of this inning at third base. So far today, 0 for 3. D-backs have been out hit 7-5. They trail at 3-1.
Desperately need to put up a 0 right in this inning here to give yourself a chance in the 9th.
D-backs will have Drury, Blanco, Mathis due up 6, 7, and 8 in the top of the 9th inning. Harrison trying to keep his 10-game hitting streak going. Batting almost .390 during his streak, but he's 0 for 3 so far today. Nice hopper to Ahmed at shortstop. High throw. Goldie gets that foot back down, and that's the first out.
Nice play by Nick Ahmed. Hard hit ball. Stays with it. Goldie with a nice play at first.
Well, here's the hitting hero for the most part for the Pirates. It's the shortstop Jordy Mercer, who's 3 for 3. Tripled and scored a run in the 4th when the Pirates tied the ball game. The other hitting hero is Chris Stewart, who gave them the lead with a 2-run triple, but injured his leg running to third base and had to lead the ball game. Pirates have seen both Gregory Polanco and Chris Stewart have to leave this game with injuries. The catcher Cervelli, who took over for Stewart, is on deck.
Well, that'll answer your question. Who's hitting in the
You never can
3
tell.
spot?
2-0 on Mercer. Boy, this guy had a 6-game hitting streak and last night in their Sunday night game against the Mets. During that 6-game streak, he went 12 for 24. And he's picked up right where he left off here today.
White hot.
Yeah, there's a strike 3-1.
It looks to me like his approach today, and maybe it's been like that in the past, but he's trying to hit everything towards right field, right center field.
Well, there's lots of room over there for him right now. Blanco shaded toward left center. Fastball's a strike, and it's a full count, 3-2. Jammed him that time. A dribble or short for Ahmed. 2 ground ball outs for Wilhelmsen, and that brings up Francisco Cervelli.
Yeah, nice call that time. Mathis calls. I think he realizes that also. Good fastball by Wilhelmsen inside. Like you said, just buzzed him, broke his bat, got the easy ground ball.
Well, everyone thinks Francisco Cervelli is Italian because he has Dean Martin as his walk-up music, but it's not true. He's actually from Venezuela. But he's got a little Dino there as he comes up to the plate in his home park. 255 and 3 homers.
Well, it's an Italian name.
It's an Italian name. He used to play for the Yankees. It all kind of fits. But he's a Venezuelan native.
Berra, Cervelli.
Yeah. Cervelli's been a little streaky offensively over the last week. He's had 4 multi-hit efforts in his last 8 games. Starting to pick it up after a slow month of April to start the year. Eight hits in his last 16 times up, Francisco Cervelli. Wilhelmsen trying to put a goose egg up there and get to the 9th. Thought about it. Took a strike. It's 1-2.
Great slider. Beautiful. Locks him up a little bit, and that ball breaks right over the outside third of the plate.
Tony Watson, the closer, is ready. Drury, Blanco, and Mathis due up in the Diamondback ninth, 6, 7, and 8.
Of course, Watson, the closer. He's got a hitter's number 44, but also throws from the left side.
And a blown save Tuesday night in Atlanta, Tony Watson. Bounces a fastball up there, and it's 2-2.
Trying to get him to chase that slider, just won't do it.
Cervelli's a very disciplined hitter. He rarely gets himself out, so you can't really nibble with him. You got to come at him.
Doesn't really have a lot of power. Doesn't usually hit very many home runs. He's up there trying to make contact.
Full count, 3-2. Ball 4, 2-out walk. A chance now for Jose Osuna, who doubled his last time up.
I thought you caught a break last time, Osuna, with that double, but really hitting for Polanco. Wow, you got Polanco out of the game, and Osuna gets that double. Gets things going in the 7th inning for the Pirates.
In that kind of game, it was Stewart, the backup catcher, who's hitting 200, who had the game's biggest hit. That 2-run triple in the 7th inning. 7 hits for the Pirates, only 5 for the Diamondbacks. D-backs today have stranded 7 base runners. Pirates have left 3. And sure enough, Osuna dunks one into left center. Broken bat bloop in for a hit.
Wilhelmsen fires the slider, puts it right in the spot where Mathis's glove is at, breaks his bat, and ends up a base hit to left field.
So the hitter is Jaso, 2 on and 2 out, trying to keep this a 2-run deficit to get to the 9th inning. Jaso so far 0 for 3.
Yeah, another big at bat right here. You've got to get this guy out to give yourself a chance in the last inning.
Jaso's picked it up lately, 10 hits in his last 9 games, but still batting only .210 on the year. And Ahmed will jog out there to right field. Drury behind the runner, Cervelli at second, Lamb near the bag at third. We're about an hour away here in Pittsburgh from first puck. Getting ready to drop the puck for game 1 across the river, Stanley Cup Finals. Penguins and Nashville Predators. That kicks back toward the mound. And now you got trouble. A single can score 2. Took a funny hop from Mathis, who naturally looked behind him, but the ball wound up in front of him.
Look at the kind of pitch this was. I think it was a slider. No, looked like a fastball he spiked. Came up off his glove, went up in the air, and I think that's where Jeff lost the ball.
Off the mask.
Kind of kicked out in front of him.
Mike Butcher, that set off some alarm bells. No one warming up in the Diamondback bullpen. This is the bartender's game here. 20 pitches, but so far only half of them for strikes.
Sometimes a pitcher needs that little 10-second timeout or so. Just a little quick visit from the pitching coach. Just a little refocusing.
Joey Cora coaching at third. Cervelli's the runner over there. Osuna's at second. A 1-0 count on John Jaso. Jason's a very disciplined hitter. He's an on-base percentage guy. He rarely swings at pitches that aren't strikes. In fact, for a long time, he was a leadoff man. Not a whole lot of speed, obviously, a former catcher. But he's a disciplined hitter up there.
Jason, when he holds his hands when he goes up to hit, holds his hands very low.
What does that tell you?
And as a pitcher, when you see a guy like that, the first thing you think of, he's got a hole up and in, hand high inside. Guys that have their hands high, usually you can get them down and away to have a hole there.
Boy, he almost threw that to the backstop.
But he's not being able to locate where he wants to throw it right now.
Bullpen still quiet. Wilhelmsen got the first two on easy ground balls. But since then, a walk, a single, and a wild pitch. Jaso gets that in the air, left center field. And Chris Owings tracks it down just in front of Gregor Blanco. So Wilhelmsen gets the job done in strands two. Brandon Drury leads off the ninth. Diamondbacks trail the Pirates here in Pittsburgh 3-1. Game summary. Chris Stewart had the game's big hit, a two-run triple off J.J. Hoover in the seventh inning, a play on which Stewart injured his leg and had to leave the ball game. Diamondbacks have got only 5 hits here. They've scored their only run on a Yasmani Tomas RBI single back in the first. And some work to do now against the left-hand closer for the Pirates. Give it up for Mr. Tony Watson. He has converted 10 of 12 saves this year. 25 for 30 career as the Pirates closer and his save ops, a 3.38 ERA, although he did just blow a save last week. That was Tuesday in Atlanta.
He's got 8 walks in those 21 in the third innings, but also hitters are hitting 300 against him. So it's not like he's this lights out closer.
Sure. Well, here we go. Brandon Drury, the 6-hole hitter, leads it off for the Diamondbacks. Drury is 0 for 3 so far. Blanco on deck, then Jeff Mathis, the scheduled hitters.
Nice strike that time.
Yeah, you said it.
That fastball about 92 miles an hour, so it's not an overpowering fastball. But Watson does stay close, so pitchers that stay closed, normally it's a little bit more difficult to pick the ball up.
You see that backward platoon split for Drury, 220 versus lefties this year. And he looks at strike 2.
I think Brandon really liked that call.
Drury has a hit in 4 of his last 5 games. Hitless so far today, trying to get something started in the ninth. Gets it out to Osuna in right. Gregor Blanco now.
Looking for a base runner any which way. Take a bloop and a blast.
Diamondbacks just have not had a lot of offense lately. Only 3 hits on Saturday against Chase Anderson. Couldn't do much for 7 innings against Jimmy Nelson yesterday. And here today in Pittsburgh, only 5 hits. That's a strike.
2 of those hits in the first inning.
Yeah, good point. Jake Lamb and Tomas back-to-back 2-out singles. And at that point, it was a 1-0 Diamondback lead until the 4th. D-backs have stranded 7 base runners today, and Blanco quickly down 0-2.
Kind of thought you had something cooking last inning, get the first couple guys on, but
yeah, Owens walked, Peralta single, first and second, no outs, but they could not get a run home. Fastball in, missed, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gregor Blanco. Jeff Mathis is the on-deck hitter. Pitcher spot behind him. It's Chris Iannetta who's come out now to hit for Mathis. Struck him out. 2 down in the 9th.
high fastball beat him upstairs. He might have got a little piece of that, but Cervelli ended up catching it.
Well, now Iannetta will head back to the dugout. Torey Lovullo thinking maybe he could tie the game with 1 swing if Blanco could get aboard, and instead it'll be Daniel Descalso. Descalso started at first base for Goldie yesterday in Milwaukee. Doubled twice, knocked in a run. He's hitting .208 on the year.
Torey looking for a base runner.
Yep. Descalso 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter this year. That includes a home run. Jumps on the first pitch and knocks it into right center field. There's your base runner, Descalso. As McCutchen gets over there to cut it off, will settle for a single.
Jumped all over that first pitch fastball. Just a line shot towards the gap in right center. That's all you needed was a base runner. A nice swing by Daniel Descalso once again.
Well, here's the guy who's been the big hero at the plate as of late. It's Chris Iannetta. 236, 5 home runs. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games, including that dramatic 2-out homer in the 9th inning Friday night in Milwaukee to tie the game. Setting up a D-backs extra inning win. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs. Everything Iannetta has hit lately, Candy, has been barreled up.
It has been just pelted. We need one right here. We don't need the home run, but hit a ball hard, keep this inning going.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Cervelli keeps it close. Descalso stays at first. This was Chris Iannetta down a run off Corey Knebel Friday night in Milwaukee. Deep left center to tie it up at 2 with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
How about that?
That was a great moment. D-backs got 2 in the 10th, won that game 4-2. Two and 2.
Slider almost got him in the back foot.
Torey was talking to us before the game today about Chris Iannetta, saying he has just been on every pitch lately. Really impacting the ball with the barrel of the bat. Looking for some more Iannetta 2-out magic here. Lays off a pitch outside. He's worked it full 3-2. Chris Owings on deck.
Changeup off the plate away at 85 miles an hour.
Jaso will play behind the runner at first now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tying run at the plate in the 9th. Here it is. There goes Descalso. Iannetta, he gets it in the air. Headed for the left field corner. Frazier's on the run. And it's gone! He did it again! Chris Iannetta ties it up! Holy cow!
Does he have a flair for the dramatic or what? 6th home run this season.
Oh, baby!
Right inside the foul pole.
Unbelievable! Chris Iannetta! Stay hot!
That is one happy dugout.
A 2-out home run in the 9th in Milwaukee Friday tied it. And here in Pittsburgh, a 2-out home run ties it again in the 9th. A jumbo jack.
That just shocked the crowd.
Wow. Unbelievable.
2 outs, nobody on.
Incredible.
Starts with Descalso. And a huge home run again.
Down to the last out. Good point on the Descalso single. He jumped on that first pitch from Watson, knocked it into right center field. And then Iannetta sneaks one inside the left field foul pole. Blown save for Watson. His second in less than a week. Owings sends it foul ground for Jaso first base side. And we're in Pittsburgh. We're going to keep playing. Chris Iannetta has done it again. The 2nd time in 4 days he hits a 2-out 9th inning home run to tie the ball game. Bottom 9 at PNC. It's still 3-3.
Going to the bottom of the 9th here in Pittsburgh. I talked to Chris earlier today about the streak he's been on. It seems like it's just since he's been back off the DL, but he said right before he did get hit by that pitch and go on the DL, he changed his mechanics a little bit. He was looking for a tweak. He changed his hand positioning, and that's changed his load and his timing, and he credited Dave Magadan and Tim Laker for helping him with that. And he said since that time, guys, he's been barreling everything up.
It's been amazing, Jody. Everything is hit hard. Even the outs for Chris Iannetta are hit line drives right at infielders or outfielders. And he's had some more 2-out 9th inning magic here today. Archie Bradley on now to work the bottom of the 9th as Tony Watson, the Pirates closer, blows the save. Here's the numbers on Archie Bradley this year. Candy, what about Archie the reliever versus Archie the starter? What are you seeing?
Well, what a difference. I see a guy that's just super aggressive out there. You know, his fastball velocity has really climbed. You know, he's hitting 98, 99 with consistency. And then his curveballs always seems like it's unhittable, especially when he's throwing his fastball for strikes.
Strike one to Andrew McCutchen.
Archie doesn't like to mess around either. He's just going to come right after you. Hit it if you can type of attitude.
Yeah, there's a very quick tempo and pace to Archie out there. Working quickly. McCutchen drives this one deep right field and gone. Andrew McCutchen, a home run for the Pirates, his 8th of the year, walks it off.
I didn't see that one coming right there.
Nope. Well, McCutchen has really turned it around since they dropped him into the 6th spot in the order. And a long home run here Saturday against the Mets. And he wins this one 4-3.
We're just talking about Archie's, the way he comes after guys, his aggressiveness, fastball up but out over the plate, and McCutchen, a little bit slower bat these days, is able to catch up with that one and drive it the other way. And there's your walk-off.
And Watson, who blows the save, ends up with the win. Vultures that one. And Diamondbacks drop the opener here, this 3-game set in Pittsburgh, 4-3. It's been a difficult year for Andrew McCutchen. At the start of the season, he was removed from his center field spot. Just last week, dropped down to 6th in the batting order. And he comes up with a big walk-off home run here to make it 4-3 Pittsburgh. Post-game show is next, presented by CenturyLink. Back with more after this.